What's up, YouTube? Happy Saturday. Hope everyone's doing well. We got Brian Arkham here and myself.
Cheers.
Cheers, Brian. Oh, you got yours already poured. I gotta get to
I'm not
that.
waiting.
Man, I was not enjoying waiting. I was trying to wait for like the big reveal on stream, but I was itching to crack this can open. But I guess real quick, we're here to talk about some home states and some sludge, doom, stoner, just the whole umbrella of that scene. So I think both of us really enjoy and hold, this music really close to our hearts, and just enjoy diving in deep to a lot of these local bands and really being a part of the local scene, because I think in certain states this music is really thriving, and has been thriving like through the 90s, really. But no, I'm ready. I got good dank tasty beer over here. got the I Hate God shirt on. Got my shitty battle flannel on.
You are in full burnout mode. I love it.
Yeah. Party like there's no tomorrow in that,
Yeah.
No Sunday service for me. And let's see, we got Rick already here.
Rick. Yeah, another stoner initiate.
Yes. I think he's a fellow riff worshiper and a fellow appreciator of all things heavy and kind of fuzzed out.
Yep.
And
in fact, one or two of mine were gifts from him.
Oh, yeah.
I know he's a big fan of some of these that we're going to talk about. So,
sweet.
Yeah, it's cool to dive into these Bandcamp compilations. I think Bandcamp is a really cool way to connect with the artist directly, or have the artist connect with the, fan. And, I spent a little bit of money yesterday on Bandcamp Friday on some of these artists that I discovered kind of in this last week or so, 1 to 2 weeks since we've been kind of going over these and digging into these compilations. And so I'm excited to get that stuff in the mail when it comes.
Yeah. I think that's possibly like one of the whole purposes of this stream is for me and for, I guess, you and anyone else watching, to dive into some of these bands and support them if possible. I know I picked up probably one, but we'll after this buy a couple more from some of these bands I have not supported yet. But before we officially dive in, what you drinking? So I can crack this open and
okay,
relax a little bit.
So I got another wild sour from Distill Brewery. They're located in Bloomington, Normal, Illinois.
These are all local beers, right?
Yeah,
we're drinking local tonight too.
And this is just one of my favorite breweries, and all their sours I generally like. So they are in the middle of the state, about 45 minutes away from me. Bloomington, there's a town called Bloomington, there's a town called Normal, and they're kind of right next to each other, and they form kind of a larger city. And it's a college town. That's where Illinois State University is. And so, yeah, this is one of their seasonals, I think it is, cherry pie. Cherry pie sour. I'm just a big fan of the sour. So
cherry pie and beer. We are truly living in the golden age, I think.
I think so. That's what I got tonight.
All has been achieved by man that can possibly be achieved.
Chris is here.
Cheers to Chris. Chris, this is a good Charlotte brewery right here. We got Sycamore Brewing with Sticky Crystals. This is a Sticky Icky IPA. It's got that dank written all over it. And it pairs well with a lot of these picks we will be going through tonight, for sure. So, cheers, man.
Cheers.
Cheers to all watching.
Thanks for joining us.
And
now, or in the future, whatever the case may be.
Past, present, future.
Yeah.
And I guess to kind of like do a little more of a introduction, this is kind of a kickoff stream in my mind, if you will, because we're coming up on one of the best seasons. It's 420 season, baby.
Yeah, right.
We're getting into that 420 mindset with this this stream in my mind. I want to do a couple more probably leading up to, or a couple more videos based around like Sludge and Stoner leading up to the big one on that Rick wants to do, right?
Yeah, the big 420.
Mm-hmm. But I find that in kind of metal overall, and probably at least in this little niche of the metal VC community, that kind of sludge and doom doesn't get the acknowledgement or like the respect that a lot of other genres and stuff. I mean, you don't hear people talking about this kind of music in the same like reverence that you hear them discuss like the latest hallowed release from like a black metal band, like Stormkeep, or your Lamp of Murmur, shit like that. I mean, or even like death metal. Like it's everyone, as soon as the newest death metal release comes out, everyone's showing it off. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
There's definitely like a more of a, I think, stigmatism with this scene where people are like, oh yeah, it's, there's not much substance to it. It's centered around like abusing substances mainly. And it's just all sounds the same. Like that's a theme I hear, So
yeah, I mean, some of it maybe is because it's not. Some of it may be more rock oriented than metal per se. I know a lot of these on both lists, may not be considered metal. Maybe they're more like barroom type blues rock or space rock or stuff like that. But I don't know. There's something about it that always clicks with me. I know I like good catchy riffs, and you get a lot of that with this, and even the more hostile type abrasive stuff is not always something I go toward, but when I'm in the mood for it, it really hits, and there's under this kind of genre tag that we're discussing tonight, there's bands that'll sound like Pink Floyd and bands that'll sound like Primitive Man and everything in between, so there's a lot of variation with it. But I do agree that I think it's in at least the circles we run in, it's kind of it doesn't get as much high praise as I think it should, but that's what we're doing here tonight then.
Yeah, for most people I think it's like they'll appreciate a release here or there but not be able to like dive in to like the scene overall, or like a whole discography from a band or something.
Yeah, I think so. I think like you said, black metal, death metal, and even like death doom is like going to be in the forefront of everybody's attention. At least YouTube, Facebook, Instagram type stuff. Like that new Ahab came out, and everybody's talking about it, and rightly so. But at the same time, there's some of these releases, or some of this new stuff that's coming out. That's really only kind of getting hyped up in these little stoner rock subgroups,
Like what's that one CD you just sent to me? I had it out in the car, but it's like the Black Sky.
Black Sky Giant. Yeah, and that's one that's like more of a desert rock, and then getting into the topic we're gonna dive into is it's only Bandcamp released. I think they have like 5 albums out. A band from Argentina, and I think it's just all digital. I think one of their albums had a limited vinyl release, but again, it's overseas, so it's a little expensive. But a band like that, it's still really great music, and I found myself listening to it a lot, and to the point where I busted out my old CDRs like that I haven't touched in like 10 years, and I burned a CDR so I could have it in the car, and I sent you one.
And I appreciate the burn, especially now that I know that probably going to be no physical release of it. So check out Black Sky Giant for sure.
Did you get a chance to listen to it?
I listened to like the first 2-3 songs.
Yeah, it's not that long. It's only about 30-35 minutes. But it's cool. It's instrumental desert rock. It's cool.
So did you kind of already explain like why why do you like this genre so much? Is it kind of the reasons that you listed? Like,
Yeah, it's just for me, it's just always been kind of something
comfort?
fun. It's fun, but at the same time, it's got that heaviness to it, and some of it has that darkness to it that we all kind of crave being into metal. Like you're wearing the I Hate Gods shirt.
Oh yeah.
Kind of really abrasive and um, you know suffocatingly heavy and depraved type of music. But then I don't know. There's some of this music just gives me I don't know, just especially when you're like driving in the car, like there's nothing better than like some good putting on some Sasquatch or some Wofat. I mean, I constantly do that, driving to or from work, like just
Great driving music.
Yeah, putting the windows down and just blasting it, do a little air guitar on the steering wheel.
Yeah. For me, why I like this music so much, there's kind of two different reasons. There's the low, like simple reason. It's as you said, it's so wide and encompassing. It's fun. It's all about the riffs. Like the riff takes center stage, and that's like one of the first things I hear when I listen to metal music is the riff. That's what stands out to me. The guitar tone, and then the drums. And I mean, there's some phenomenal, like just heavy percussion on a lot of these bands, and then I just enjoy how much fun a lot of these bands can have. It's just fun kind of party music a lot of the time, and that's just something that I definitely enjoy.
Like if you watch a Red Fang video, it's obvious those dudes are having a blast, like being out there and playing music and doing their thing.
Yeah, dude, it's just fun beer drinking music too. Speaking of Red Fang,
I think there's certain of these bands where it's like, we're gonna crush, some PBR tonight, and some of the other ones, it's like, we're gonna, have a little smoke and chill out and just enjoy the ride.
It encompasses such a wide variety of moods and stuff, because there still are like the depressive and like angst ridden and then even the primitive man, where if you just want to be hammered to death by negativity, you throw that shit on and you're good. So it just covers so much ground in the genre. And then also for me, especially the music on this comp, there's a bit of a personal nostalgia to it. Like, I've heard people, once again, to bring up black metal, wax poetic about how when they listen to black metal, they can see like Norway and feel like they're walking in like across a fjord, or like that they're stuck in the Cascadian Mountains in the Pacific Northwest, or when they listen to like various black metal albums. For me, certain bands that we'll definitely talk about do that with my home state of North Carolina, where you listen to like, Weed Eater or Sour Vein, and you hear like rural, like shitty podunk in C with like some impoverishment, a lot of substance abuse issues, but also beautiful scenery, like it just kind of transports you to the actual geographic location and the people who live there. So I think when looking at my state, it's our greatest musical export, if you will, and I'm proud of like the North Carolina sludge scene, in that it's so big. I mean, like I don't think much else from North Carolina has made quite that impact as on the musical spectrum. I mean,
maybe some.
I don't want to claim John Taylor.
Right, like some genres that we're not familiar with.
Yeah,
like maybe blues or I wouldn't know, but I think you could say the same thing for Illinois, as far as just the it's got a real urban sound to it. At least a lot of this stuff. Chicago's like, I don't know, the third or fourth largest city in the U.S. With that type of population, it's gonna attract a lot of people, and it's going to have that many, cool venues and small clubs to have these bands play live, which I think is a huge part of the current scene in Chicago, as well as in the entire state.
Yeah, and for North Carolina too, it's distinct in there's like the urban areas, but then the rural, there's the rural beach area and the rural mountain area, and I think you can kind of hear that difference in geography in the music from those locations. Like a band from Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina, is going to sound different from an Asheville in the middle of the mountains, North Carolina band, and it's just cool to hear that. And I'm sure, like in Illinois, Chicago would sound different than some band from Lombard, I guess.
Well, Lombard's in the Chicago land area, so
see. I don't
probably
know
pretty similar. But you go a little, south of like I-80, and you're getting in the same kind of thing. There's rural areas, and then there's industrial areas. A lot of farmland, obviously, cornfields and soybeans. There's a ton of that. So that's going to be more of the kind of the bluesy kind of southern type sounds that come out. Not always, but a good amount. Like when I was going through this list and trying to connect a locale to each band, I mean, the vast majority is Chicagoland area. But there were a few cool ones from what they call downstate, Illinois.
Which is more of the farmland stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's some relatively medium-sized cities down that way. Where I live, Peoria, Springfield. We talked about Bloomington Normal, Decatur, which is where ADM is located. I don't know if you're familiar with ADM. They have like a soybean processing.
No, yeah. I'll probably get all my soy milk from there. So.
Probably, yeah. It's just a huge kind of ag company. What else? Springfield, obviously, is the capital. Another medium-sized, city. I mean, Chicago's just
it's just the
massive
mammoth that swallows up everything, kind of.
Yeah. Everything is just kind of second fiddle to that area. But there are a few places here around where I lived which have kind of scene or kind of a place that bands will play or bands from that area in this style.
Yeah,
that's been cool too.
I know you don't have to travel to Chicago every time to see a show.
No, most of the time. A lot of the time I do have to travel. Every now and then there'll be like when I Hate God comes through in next month,
right?
Yeah, they're going to be playing in a little bar in Bloomington, which is about half hour, 45 minutes away. So that's always nice to do that. It's a quick trip. Or Wake Brewing, we've talked about that before. They are up in the Quad Cities. That's about an hour and a half away. That's about it, actually.
Nice.
I mean, I'm sure there's some maybe some other ones that I'm not familiar with, but majority, Chicago. I mean, you could see a cool band in Chicago probably every night of the week, whether it be stoner doom or black metal or death metal. I mean, it's just there's just so much going on there.
Yeah, one of those big cities. But I guess before we dive into the music on the comp itself, real quick, what was like a band or a release that kind of introduced you to this style of music overall? We might share in this, truthfully.
Project Conformity, Deliverance, specifically the song Albatross.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that's the one, right? That's the first one I heard, and it's just so warm and fuzzy. It's got that great tone, and Pepper's got that southern drawl going on. And it's just such a cool stoner metal song. and it's always been, one of my favorites. And this came out in '94. That was when I was kind of, well, I came from the first kind of music I got into was like, grunge.
Mm-hmm.
So from there to from there to COC was
Not a big jump.
Not a very far jump. You're right. So
like Clean My Wounds almost sounds grunge,
Yeah, and that's the thing is like not all this sounds like Albatross. I think Albatross is like that's the definitive like stoner metal song of this album and kind of the stuff that I was listening to. It just had such a cool slow groove to it. Obviously, Clean My Wounds is a little faster.
Mm-hmm.
There's some ballads on here, some more bluesy stuff, I guess. Especially Wise Blood actually has a lot of kind of funky type songs too.
Yeah, some odd ones on that album.
Yeah. So but that song in particular, and just kind of that, and yeah, and the I mean, and MTV was so big back then that the music video was on quite a bit, Headbangers Ball and all that. So you would see that, and they're out in the middle of a field with their huge amps, and they're just jamming. So that's
a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. COC, man, they're one of the, I think they're an incredibly underrated band just overall because they have so many different, they have at least like 3 or 4 periods of their sound, and they're really, I think we're more trailblazers than anything,
Well, yeah, I mean, if you look at, comparatively these two compilations, North Carolina has a just ton of not only just, solid stoner doom sludge bands, but like legends of the scene, like, these are huge. They're massive names. So definitely influential.
So my first album, I think, with the scene, I'll just mention this quickly since it's not like a local, but got to talk about that one just real quick. Nola, that's definitely the first introduction for me.
Yeah.
I mean, with the song "Stone the Crow," like, any better than that? That shit's just amazing. And then this was a quick follow-up, which to me this is a perfect, I'll say 10 out of 10. As you already said, Albatross, but then 7 Days is a spine-chilling song, and absolutely love it. Then it can get incredibly heavy, and then incredibly like, ballady and melancholic at times. I mean, Migraine, Shake Like You are super heavy, and then Shelter is just a beautiful ballad. But I don't know, it's incredibly influential and genre forerunners for sure.
Definitely.
But so this was big to me just getting into this type of music, and both of those albums are more palatable. Like there's a lot more ear for catchy songwriting across the board that kind of helps ease you in before you get to like some of the stuff we'll be talking about here shortly.
Yeah, and both of those actually had, and Nola was actually the other one I would have pulled. Those were the two that came to mind first of all.
Yep.
But they also have a lot of like, cool guitar hooks and harmonies and solos.
These are both amazing just riff albums.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong in the riff department, or in the solos too. Like, which I guess is Pepper. Pepper is the combo between the two.
Yep.
He links
the
two bands.
Yep.
And is he lead guitar, or for Down, or is Jimmy?
Well, I think Jimmy's the drummer in Down.
Oh, he's the drummer. It's Kirk. Sorry.
Well, when they started, it was him and Kirk.
Yeah.
And I assume I don't know if Kirk plays many leads.
I was about to say he's more of a rhythm guy. I feel like.
I believe that's true. Yeah.
He just strikes me with like all those down-tuned crowbar riffs. He's gotta be a rhythm dude.
But I mean, I haven't. But I don't know that for a fact. I'd have to look at the liner notes. But I would imagine that Pepper's doing most of the solos.
On the solos on both of those albums, and especially I think the COC one, are great.
Yeah, it's just got a cool southern feel to it, which definitely works well.
All right, if you're ready to dive into your comp, I'd say let's go.
Yeah, let's do that. All right. So Illinois has, and this is the Weedian comp. It's on Bandcamp. There's a number of, I think he started out doing different countries. Like there's Japan, there's probably Poland, and then he started doing the States. You said, I think North Carolina was the first one he did.
Yeah, Illinois, I think, was third.
Yeah, and then he just released New York, and in between he did Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, this one's got 56 tracks, 55 bands.
There's over 100 bands on both of these comps that we're talking about. It's
obviously
immense. It's amazing how immense it is. So
yeah,
your first pick here. Sorry.
We'll start with Twin Wizard. From DeKalb, Illinois, which is in the northern part of the state. Twin Wizard, Glacial Gods. I actually have a couple different versions of this. There's a purple and there's a red. So this was released in I want to say 2020. But Twin Wizard is a two-piece that formed after Anthony, the drummer, left Telekinetic Yeti. And he formed another two-piece in the same kind of style. And I've talked enough about Telekinetic Yeti that everybody knows that they're one of my favorite bands right now in this style. And so Twin Wizard actually put out their record before Telekinetic Yeti put out Primordial. Now, I say that because there's a lot of the same tracks on both albums. They had their split. They both took the music that they wrote together for the second TK, Yeti album. And Anthony got Brad Van from Droids Attack to sing and play guitar, or maybe just sing on this. This is the red version. This is the first version that came out. And Brad was in the band for like a year or something. And he left and he got another singer named Larson. And then they put Larson's vocals on this one, which is the purple version. But really cool kind of fuzzy psychedelic type doom, a lot of Hendrix influence and that kind of thing. Two-piece, so
yeah, all just from two people, which is crazy.
Right, yeah. And I heard this one when this came out. I really liked it. I got that cassette first, and then listened to it on Bandcamp a ton. And so if you kind of compare Glacial Gods and Primordial, you'll notice first track on here is Ghost Train Haze. The Telekinetic Yeti version is Ghost Train. Smoke Wizard. The Yeti version is Toked Wizard. I think they both have a song called Cult of Yeti, and I think that's the only overlap. There's I think 3 songs on that are on both that they both do a version of. They're different. I think Twin Wizard uses a little more vocals.
Yeah, I'll have to listen to them back to back, or at least compare them, because now I have both of these releases. Thanks to you. Yeah,
and they're both really good, despite having kind of the same 3 or 4 of the same songs. The other stuff on here is really good. Sky Burial, Ghost Rider. This is solid. So I saw them play with Bongzilla last October, I want to say. So I got there early, and Anthony, the drummer, was eating a sandwich, at the bar. So I bought the record and had him and Larson sign it. They're actually just were on tour. They did a little U.S. tour with a North Carolina band that we may or may not talk about called 8 Berman.
Ooh.
They had some van problems, so I don't think they got to finish it out. But I think I saw, followed them on Instagram, and they just made it home. But really cool record. I actually like both versions. They both kind of have cool kind of nasally, snotty, vocal styles. I like them both. I like both versions, both vocalists. So yeah, I had to get the red version. I think you have.
I didn't realize that.
You have the red. The one I sent you was a cassette of the red version, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So yeah.
So this is the new vocalist right here.
No, the red one's the old
this
one.
is the old vocalist. Okay.
The purple is the new.
Okay.
It was actually here's the show I saw them out.
Oh, yeah, Sunday Driver.
Yeah. Cool show, yeah. And that's another thing. It's like it's cool to get there. I always try to get there a little early, get my first crack at the
merch booth.
Yeah, get the first crack at the merch booth. See if anyone's around, and I like to get it signed if I can. Just lend my support, and I don't bug them too much. Get my autograph and say hi and move on. But it's definitely this was a cool band. I'm glad they were on the comp.
Yeah. Telekinetic Yeti's not on the comp, which I was.
Well, yeah. So they're actually from Dubuque,
Indiana, Illinois, what?
Iowa.
Oh well,
I
then,
think.
So did the guy move? Sorry, I didn't even realize that.
I'm not even sure exactly. I know Alex Bauman, the guitar player vocalist for Telekinetic Yeti. I know he is from Dubuque. I think that's where the band formed. Maybe I think Anthony Dreyer, the guy behind Twin Wizard, I think he is from Illinois, but maybe moved to Iowa to for that band, and when they split, he moved back. I'm not exactly sure on that, but they are based out of Illinois now.
Yeah, I mean, great band, great two bands for sure. So I'm going to squeeze two into this release, just two of the bigger father bands, if you will, just because I have nine bands to talk about, just to kind of run that through. So real quick, we already talked about COC. I'm going to mention them one more time. I just like how on the comp, the song from Corrosion and Conformity that they picked was not off of Deliverance. They thankfully decided to choose a little variety and chose one of their later albums. This is actually their 7th album, In the Arms of God, which I think is incredibly underrated in the COC catalog. They picked the song Paranoid Opioid on the compilation, which killer song, super heavy, great riffs, and really this is probably one of their heavier albums. They're still really balancing out their songwriting pretty well between heavy and more catchier hooks. To keep this one brief, great songs to check out. Paranoid Opioid for sure. Infinite War really brings a heavy, almost thrash-like intensity to it. There's some just amazing riffs on the closing title track, In the Arms of God. And It Is That Way is just a great song too. Have you heard this album from them, Brian?
Yeah, not a whole lot.
It's good. I'm glad. So they picked the song off of this one to be on the comp, which I definitely appreciate it versus like a more basic, album or a basic track like Albatross or
something
Clean My Wounds or something. Which I don't know. Maybe it would have cost too much Like I don't know I don't know like the licensing deal or anything like that. But
Well, that's a good question. I, I, I assume that he contacts each band and asks permission because
mhm.
I see a lot of these bands included and others in other comps, you know, that are they promote it. They say, hey, we're on the new Weedian comp, so go check it out. And maybe COC, you know, did maybe that's how they had to do it with them. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Um,
And that might be why some bands that we'll talk about later didn't make the list.
yeah, and I'm wondering that, or maybe they just, yeah, who knows? I don't know how that all works.
That's the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, I do have a cool. I think I've showed this before.
Yeah.
This copy of
Yes.
Walls to the Wall, and I got this at a record store up in the Quad Cities that actually was selling the record collection of Reed Mullen. So I got to sift through his record collection, and this is the one I grabbed. There's a lot of punk, a lot of country, stuff I wasn't really interested in. And so this was, I thought this would be cool to have, Reed Mullen's copy of Balls to the Wall. It's actually still got the sticker on it.
This is from Reed.
Yeah, COC.
See, it's like how did that get up to where you're at? Because Reed Mullen is like a diehard dude from Raleigh, North Carolina. Like was in tons of bands from that area. Did he have like a relative up there or something? Or
I think he had a friend
that
inherited or was, I don't know what the term is. He was, upon his death, he bequeathed his record collection to a friend that lived in the area named John Hopkins. He was a long time a sound guy for Sleep and Melvins and COC, and he lived in that area in the Quad Cities area up by Rock Island and Davenport, Iowa. I think he had a studio there too. I'm not sure. I think anyway, he ended up with the collection, and then he died. So then the entire record collection was put up for consignment at a local record store by the family, I assume. So, if you go to, what's it called? Oh, I'm drawing a blank at the record store. It's in Davenport.
Okay.
They also have
Davenport, Illinois.
No, Davenport, Iowa.
I don't know.
It's up at the border. What the hell's it called? Anyway, there's probably still parts of his collection there. I've gone 2 or 3 times and still kind of able to pick through.
Did he have some really cool like limited release stuff from Bongzilla at all, or was that a different record store?
Yeah, that did. I think the John Hopkins side had more stuff I was interested in that vein. The metal sludge type stuff. He had a ton of that stuff. So yeah, we were able to, or I was, everybody was able to kind of pick through it. Some of it was kind of, it was priced, and it was Discogs prices. It wasn't like bargain basement or anything, but it was cool. And I got a lot of CDs that first flipped through. Got the Accept album, a couple others, and then when I went back for a show, I think I stopped in and grabbed a couple more things. I think at that time they had just putting out their the 7-inches. They had priced the 7-inches and put those in. So yeah,
cool stuff.
Yep.
So I'm apparently experiencing camera issues, trying to resolve that. Am I moving now at the very least?
You were a second ago, and now you're not. I don't know. I keep looking at YouTube, and it seems like I thought maybe it's my it's me, my connection. But on YouTube, it doesn't seem like you're moving either. So
yeah,
I don't know.
man. Because I don't want to like leave and then have the whole thing implode on itself.
I think if you
like
leave,
shut down completely. Because I'm just bouncing in and out.
yeah. I don't know. Maybe you think you want me to try leaving? I don't know what that's gonna do. We can try. We'll try.
I guess. All right. What's up, guys? Sorry for the technical issues. This is a definitely an official YouTube live stream for sure. Wouldn't be complete without a couple of these. So I am trying to pull it up and see if I'm actually moving on screen. Shit. I'll just keep going as if everything's fine because why not? Wow, yeah, I'm frozen. Well, that shit sucks. Yeah, I'm watching. I just pulled up live. I'm definitely like frozen on there. That's it looks like just lousy overall just video camera too. I don't know. I'll try to leave and just if it ends, then it ends, I guess. I don't know. Here.
All right. It looks like we're still good. All right. So in the meantime, not sure what to go with next. Figure we can try Chicago band, Black Road. This is Witch of the Future. This came out on Black Rock or Blood Rock. Hey, you look a lot better.
Okay.
And you're moving okay.
And it didn't shut down, so we're good.
Seems like we're still live.
Cool.
Just getting to Black Road. This was sent to me by Rick from the Dreadful Minutes. If you watch his channel, he's a huge fan of a lot of the female fronted type stuff, and this is some really cool like occult stoner doom. You know what I mean? Kind of witchy and
he's got that 70s kind of sound.
Very 70s inspired. She's got a real powerful voice. Like a little bit of that Janis Joplin, Stevie Nicks type stuff. Big heavy riffs, not as heavy as like Acid King, but pretty heavy for this style. And definitely psychedelic, definitely 70s inspired. As you can see from that photo, it's kind of bare bones type stuff, but really, really cool. They had a couple releases, I think. I know they play live a lot in the Chicagoland area. So they're kind of one of these bands that's kind of like Weekend Warriors, they're not touring, they're not going on like 2-3 week tours. They're doing like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday type stint if they do it. Maybe they'll play a weekend, they'll play like a Saturday in Romeoville. Maybe they'll play at the Empty Bottle, in the city. That's the kind of stuff they're doing. Maybe they get over to Indiana to and play a show. That's kind of the
that's the reach of their
for now. Yeah, at least for now. But it's quality stuff, and it's really good. There's a cool song in here called Hash King. And that's the one they actually take off of the comp is Hash King.
I was about to ask, yeah.
Really cool song.
Cool.
Oh man.
The Distill Brewery. That cherry pie is coming back up a little bit.
Real acidic.
Dude. Well, it looks like I'm doing a little bit better on my my end here.
I
So
think we fixed that.
that was weird. Definitely let me know if it happens again, because I don't want to be, because everything seems perfectly fine here.
Yep.
And then I looked at the YouTube live, and it was just me. So I don't want that to be the whole. I don't want that to be the whole stream.
Yeah, because like you were showing Nolan, I was like, I don't know, you're frozen. I don't know what you're showing, but I'm sure it's cool. Much better now.
Sure, it's fine.
I'm sure it's great.
All right. Well, the other like big band, of the North Carolina sludge scene, and one that I feel like is synonymous. And if anyone was like, I want some North Carolina sludge, stoner doom, this is the band that I would choose to introduce them first. Of course, it's Weedian and God Luck and Good Speed. This is just a classic at this point, I feel like. And
yep,
I absolutely love this album. I really like this one too, Jason the Dragon. You can't go wrong with either of those.
No, I love Jason the Dragon.
Yeah.
I think that's one probably the best.
Oh, really? Yeah, this one, for me, God Luck and Good Speed.
On it. It's got Mancoon on it.
Mancoon is
such a cool song.
He's fucking awesome. I just love the title track into Wizard Fight. That's like my fucking jam. He just yells Wizard Fight, and it's just a riff,
jams,
a riff fest right after it. But
yeah, that's a fun song to see live too.
Yeah,
they pretty much play the same set. I mean, I've seen them twice. They play the same set. It's a lot of fun. I'm seeing them.
Yes, with Telekinetic Yeti, right?
Yeah. So really looking forward to that.
Yep. So the North Carolina scene definitely has a couple people who are in multiple bands, and I guess a little incestuous in that way. Dixie Dave Collins from Weedian will be brought up multiple times tonight, and that guy is a fucking legend of the scene. He represents your rural North Carolinian for sure, and
no doubt.
God love him for it. You see him live, man, and it's a trip, right? Like he's up there on stage, like wigging out of his mind, the bass down to his ankles, and like a handle of whiskey.
Yeah, he comes out with his Evan Williams. He's got his hat. He's got his.
And now you're frozen.
Hat. He's pretty much. Oh, great. No, you're frozen
on my end.
He's pretty much got his. Is that better?
Yeah.
He rolls up his one pant leg.
Yeah.
He gets his bottle of NyQuil and puts a straw in it, and he, acts like a hummingbird. Comes over and feeds on it every now and then. I don't know. Have you ever seen that that YouTube video? It was an interview he did, or maybe not. It was. Was
it Bus Invaders?
No, but that one was cool.
Yeah.
Or his, Van Invaders.
Yeah, for him.
But no, it was before that. It was a number of years ago, I think. And he was in a bar and with a guy interviewing him, and they did like a flight of NyQuil. They were like sampling different types of NyQuil. It's so funny. It's really hysterical.
Oh man, looks like I'm struggling over here. Can you see me at all, or
no? But it seems like he just like you get there and you hang out before the show and you don't see him, and then all of a sudden, they come out and they sound check, and then I think they wake him up about 5 minutes before the sound check, and he comes in and just does his thing, goes right back out.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so it's not like he's like walking around a lot. He kind of comes out, jams for an hour and gets back to it. But I mean, those shows are so loud.
Yeah.
And it's another one. It's not like Primitive Man like loud, but the first time I saw them, I got right up front and it was hitting me in the chest, his bass rig. And he started off with hammer handle and just wrecked the place.
Man, we both times yeah, amazing. They started off with God Luck and Good Speed both times I saw him.
Oh, really? Yeah.
All right. Shit, am I fine now? It looks like I am.
Yeah, now you get a little audio thing going on. It's a little clicking.
Mm.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Is it any better
Not
now?
terrible. It's not terrible.
All right. That is weird.
Are you on your laptop or your phone?
I'm on my laptop. This is the usual setup that I have. So, man, figures. I'll here. Let me try some stuff. You go ahead and show off another thing while I'm
okay.
bumbling around back here.
So I'm gonna go to another Chicago band. You'll see a theme. This is Faces of the Bog. And this is called Ego Death. And this was released 2016. I think this is the only thing they've done. And this is another band that I think just plays kind of locally. I've seen them on some local Chicagoland shows that they'll come out and play. I don't think they put out anything other than this full length Ego Death. Really cool kind of atmospheric sludge. It's very similar to like Isis, maybe around the Panopticon or Oceanic era. It's also got a little bit of grunge in it. I hear a little bit of Tool in here too. Also kind of some touches of Crowbar. But yeah, really cool. I'm actually glad I was hoping they include these guys on the comp because it's very, very good. Even though it's been a few years since they've done anything. Yeah. I think this was put out by the band. I don't know if I don't think they're signed at all. This was produced by Sanford Parker, who is kind of a name that you'll see probably on a lot of credits of a lot of these bands that are on the Illinois side. He's a pretty busy producer slash artist as well, and he's been in a ton of bands. He was or part of a ton of bands. He was in, I think he was in a band called Buried at Sea. He was part of Minsk for a little while. I think he was in a Corrections House with
a Neurosis guy. Or no, I Hate God, right?
Wasn't that, who else was in that? It was kind of a noisy, sludgy type project. I never really checked it, or maybe that was industrial. Most recently, I saw him play with a band called Black Cross Hotel. It's kind of like a goth rock, new wave type band. So and I think that band also had a dude from Stabbing Westward in it.
Huh.
It was pretty interesting sound. Not really my style, but yeah. I think if you take the 50 or so tracks on here, I bet a good quarter have Sanford Parker on the credits as, involvement, and somehow he's just kind of the go-to guy up there for this style as far as recording and producing. So Face of the Bog, this is available on Bandcamp for $10. It's worth it. It's really good stuff. Sticker. I think they actually sent me a koozie as well. So cheers to Face of the Bog for hooking me up.
Yeah.
They
were one of the ones from the comp that I definitely remember enjoying. What was the song that they had featured on it?
What was it? It was Drifter in the Abyss.
Yes. Great sounding band for sure. I'll have to look out for them.
Yeah.
So yeah, did a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Hopefully, we're good for
so far so good.
A bit longer. Let me see if I can rattle through two bands real quick. So another classic band from the North Carolina sludge scene that I think, along with Corrosion of Conformity, really started everything would have to be Buzz Oven right here. And these guys are probably one of the closest bands I can think of to I Hate God. I mean, they have that just drenched, sludgy, hardcore backbone that I Hate God has, but I think even more energy. You know, I Hate God definitely they have a lot of like dirge like qualities at times to their music, but Buzz Oven is just fucking schizo energy the majority of the time, and they yeah, they're just really killer. They use a lot of sound clips and stuff. I think they're like the mortician of the sludge world. There's
Nice.
a sound clip to open up every single one of their songs. I believe this album opens up with a sound bite from Taxi Driver. Great songs to check out. At a Loss is just the opening song, and it's just infinite energy. Flow is a more punishing, like sludgy riff fest. Useless is just just an amazing song. But on a Buzz Oven really did a lot for the scene and really put it on the map. They actually were signed to Roadrunner Records for one album that they released called Soar, and that was of course when their drug habits were at their highest, and before they even recorded the album, they got the check to record it, right? And the band was essentially had planned to take that check, go buy a bunch of heroin, and OD on the steps of Roadrunner Records, so they could be the one band that actually did that. That would be the end of their career, but in their mind, they'd end on a high note. Thankfully, they didn't do that, but
It would definitely end on a high note.
they would end on a high note. They didn't last that much longer, though. This was their last album they released in 1998. They since reunited in 2010 somehow to do some touring, and I believe they released another one called Revelations Sick Again. But also, Weed Eater's Dixie Dave is on this album.
That's where he started, right?
Bass. Yeah, or I think Weed Eater kind of started beforehand, but hadn't released anything. So they were going, and then he joined this band, and after they just imploded upon themselves, he then picked Weed Eater back up. So great band. From there, I want to quickly talk about Sour Vein, which I think is another staple in the North Carolina scene, and is headed up by this guy T-Roy, and he's another one that kind of gets around and has multiple bands with his name attached to it. This is the album that's featured on the comp with the song. Shit, what is it again? No, Fangs, the title track off this one. But this is an awesome album, probably one of my favorites from them. It's very riff driven. Every single song is essentially just like 3 riffs played over and over again, and I love it. It just kind of hammers away at you. All of the riffs are very Sabbath, except significantly more down tuned and heavy. And just a great album. Fangs, Night Eyes, and Gemini are the 3 songs I'd recommend from this. So there we go. Sour Vein and Buzz Oven. And I think that kind of does it for like the classic sludge pedigree, if you will. The legends of the scene. And it is time for a new beer, apparently. What we got? Is that the pickle beer?
No, this is not a pickle beer. This is the Ghost. The Here Goes Nothing from Distill. My favorite of the wild sour beers they got. This is the first sour I ever had, so that's
the classic.
This is a good one, yeah. And Liz Buckingham from Electric Wizard was in Sour Vein, and I believe she was married to Troy, correct? Did you know
Yeah, I don't think I knew that. No.
that?
What
Yeah.
it must have been before the release of this album.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because she left. Obviously, she
Because
left.
she's England, right? I mean,
Well, yeah. Well, now.
yeah. Well, was she? Where was she originally from then?
I don't know.
Which, real quick, I want to highlight one more Sourvein
Yeah,
album. This is a Metal Blade
Oh,
album of theirs, Aquatic Occult.
is that one of the EPs?
No, this is the last full length they released back in
Okay.
2016 on Metal Blade.
There
I
was
think
a point
their
where-
EP is Emerald Vulture, I think.
Didn't they release a couple EPs back to back?
Mm-hmm. They've got a bunch of albums for sure. I just have these two, but I like this one. It's very it's centered around essentially the Outer Banks, North Carolina, and it's one of those albums that kind of transports you to that location and place. So
Yeah.
quickly mentioning that. I did not know about Liz Buckingham though. That's
Yeah. So
that's
she's
an interesting anecdote right there.
excuse me. So she joined Electric Wizard in 2003. She was in Sourvein from 98 to 2003.
Huh.
And it said she let me see what it says. This is what well, she's married to Juz Osborne now.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it said she was with Troy from Sourvein before that. You get that wrong?
Did you say she's married to Buzz Osborne?
Juz.
Juz, okay.
From Electric Wizard, not.
Oh, okay.
So maybe she wasn't in a relationship with Troy, but she was in Sourvein from 98 to 2003.
I just looked it up. That would be they have a self-titled album from 2000 and then an album from 2002 called Will to Mangle. So she must have been on both of those.
Yeah. And
those are hard to find. I've been looking for those for a little bit. And no luck for like a good CD copy for cheaper than like $20. Which is too much.
Yeah. All right. I got I'm gonna go with a couple digipacks.
Hey, we love the digipacks here.
Well, when you get up, it just seems like the bands these days are producing and selling a lot of digipacks on Bandcamp. These are a couple of ones I purchased last year sometime. This is the Huntsman.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. I think this one came first. This is American Scrap. Came out on Prosthetic Records 2018. This is called Mandala of Fear. This is 2020. Prosthetic Records double CD. It's like an hour and 20 minutes long. I believe it's a concept album. So this band, one of the more interesting and kind of progressive on this comp. I'm glad they included them, but they kind of mix elements of like doom, post metal, sludge, American folk music, and kind of create these worlds or these sonic kind of transports back into time. This photograph, I think, is of migrants around the Great Depression, 1939. It says it was taken, so it kind of tells stories from that kind of time period. Grapes of Wrath type stuff. But yeah, they incorporate a lot of female vocals, acoustic passages, very haunting and melancholy, but still have some of that aggression and harshness of like the sludge and post metal. A lot of melodic guitars, a lot of hooks, especially on this one. Like you put this one on, the first thing I thought of was Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young.
Huh.
It's really kind of amazing how they blend all these styles. Another band that's seems to be pretty active in the local Chicago scene as far as playing live. I think the last couple I've shown have probably played shows together: Black Road, Faces of the Bog, and Huntsman. Yeah, just really cool, interesting band as far as stylistically. Cool storytelling as far as, reaching back into the past and kind of creating these kind of sonic soundscapes. So highly recommend this. Yeah, this is one I picked up on last year sometime and got into them, and so ordered both their CDs off Bandcamp. Probably another Bandcamp Friday when they started doing that. So a lot of instrumental passages too on both of these. They may have like one more before this one, 2018 and 2020. I'm pretty sure they might. This is their last output, but it's long. It's
yeah.
It's actually, like I said, about an hour and 20 minutes. It's 2 discs. In fact, when I got this, I didn't realize there was a second disc. So it's like, hey, bonus.
Yeah, that their edition on the comp, it definitely broke it up like kind of nicely. Like, I think initially I was like, man, this song doesn't necessarily fit because it's a lot more restrained and progressive, as you were saying. But
yeah, so
it was cool.
They did Colossus. Now, if you go, that's the second song on this. If you go to the right, if you listen to Ride Out, it's got a totally classic folky rock type vibe to it. It's really kind of cool. The intermingling between the female vocals and the male vocals. I don't know, reminds you something like what's Jesus. I'm drawing a blank on the name of the band that Stevie Nicks is in.
Oh, that one old band that everyone likes, Fleetwood Mac. Right?
Fleetwood Mac, yeah. I was going to say REO Speedwagon, which I think has a Illinois connection.
Yeah. Well, there you go. It ties in.
Yeah. Anyway, I think I only got one more physical, and then I'm going straight to Bandcamp after that.
Okay. Shit, I might show another 2 physical then, just to keep it going. And I guess it's time for another beer myself, which I know Brian's on the stream, so I had to track down like a sour of some kind. So this is Tropical Shirts, Berliner Weiss with blackberry, raspberry, and chill ass flamingo on the can.
Flamingo.
So you can't go wrong with that.
Let's see this
so
color.
Hopefully break up. Oh yeah, this is gonna be.
It's gonna be
straight juice.
Not as red as my cherry pie, but
no, yeah, I think you're
pretty good. And you got, what is that, 16 ounce?
Oh yeah,
you're not messing
tall
around.
boy, 16 ounce, only 4.2 ABV, so good middle of the stream beer. Pretty tart, actually, tarter than I was expecting.
Yeah, that cherry pie is pretty tart.
Mm-hmm. Man. I was trying to make a Warrant reference, but didn't come up with one. All right, let's see. Let me do 2 here real quick. So another band that is kind of been on like some major labels. They were on Relapse. I think they're now on Season of the Mist. And are of that North Carolina coast scene, along with Weed Eater and Buzz Oven and stuff, and Sour Vein, ASG, or All Systems Go. So I've got 2 of their albums here. As you can tell, like the artwork looks very different from the other. And
yeah, that second one looks like something Relapse would have put out around the time that they had Baroness sign and John Baisley was doing all their stuff. I don't think that's a Baisley, but it's that kind of it's that kind of style, you know.
So you can tell this is the Relapse album, and this is one of their earlier albums released on Volcom, you know, the shoe company. I think Volcom Entertainment put this one out, and they look like a fucking Monster Energy drink band right here. I mean, look at that. We got the well, of course, your eyes are drawn to the American flag down here, and then to the whiskey bottle here, and then there's some boobs also. But this one's a lot more straightforward, like that Southern hard rock. Oh, James is right. It's skateboard clothes. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But yeah, this is a lot more straightforward hard rock for sure. This is really more so the album that I actually enjoy. Blood Drive, just some really nice variety on this release. It ranges from like a very metal-oriented hard rock to just dreamy psychedelia. You know, it really benefits from the vocals from Jason Shee. He's got just such a unique voice, I think, in the scene. It's like a very almost mid-range crooner kind of style, but he can still scream and do like a high banshee scream if he wants to. And a lot of their songs are mid-paced, but then when they release the Hounds, it's really fucking good. The big song off this that Relapse did a music video for, Day's Work. Other songs I would definitely recommend, Scrappy's Trip and Castle Storm are two of the more metal-oriented songs. And then if you want some more of the chill, like laid back, like Sunday afternoon on the porch in the summer kind of tracks, Blues for Bama and the closing song, Good Enough to Eat, are just perfect. I don't know. Great band, great album.
Nice.
And then one more, Bedouin, Wolves and Trees. This is a Raleigh band, and one that been around for a bit. It's one that back when I lived in Raleigh, like and was actively going to local metal shows 2012, 2013 up till about 2016. I saw them like 3 or 4 times. They were very active then. They're not really as active as now. But they kind of play like an underappreciated, by today's standards, style of like sludge. It's a lot more like adventurous, like the Sword Age of Winter style, you know, very steeped in traditional heavy metal and just fast-paced riffs and some cool vocal trade-offs too, like Evil and Right, which is the second song on this album, goes back and forth between like a clean sung chorus and like a black metal snarl, which is really cool. Oh Bitter Sea has a music video I'd recommend checking out. And then Wolves and Trees, the title track, just has an epic heavy metal riff that really carries it through. And it was just really cool being able to see these guys kind of evolve and change their sound, or I guess stick with their sound. I don't really know if they're doing too well currently, and as I said, they don't really fit in to what the scene is kind of catering towards right now, which I think is a lot of like Uncle Acid and the Dead Beats, and honestly, King Buffalo I think is going to be the next kind of bigger thing. I feel like they're about to, you know, take that jump.
I think they do have some serious crossover appeal to like the stoner rock fans like us and like the prog rock. If we're, you know, King Buffalo.
Yeah, I think
them too.
No, I think this sound is kind of what was big back in like 2010. Sure. 2010, okay. 2011, and they just kind of came in a little bit late, but they really write some great songs. And this EP is only 23 minutes, so I would definitely recommend checking it out. And
they have them on Bandcamp?
Fun to see live. I don't think any momentum.
Do they have them on Bandcamp?
They
Those
do.
CDs? Okay.
Yeah.
That's one I on the North Carolina side. That's one I passed over. I did not dive further into them after hearing the one track.
I'd recommend checking out definitely
Okay.
this EP for sure.
Oh,
I think the track that's on the comp is from their one full length album
okay.
that was put out after this. But this is quick and easy. So, all right, I'll let you show your last.
Yeah, it's my last physical release, and one from my home city now, where I live now in Peoria, Illinois. And this is one of these digi sleeves, but it's
the Black Album.
Oh. Night Mother. Got a T-shirt. This is Sacrament. I think it's actually considered a full length, but it's one of these like pro CDR type things. I caught wind of them during the pandemic. Like right before the pandemic really got bad, I caught some kind of like basement show they were playing, and checked them out. And they're really, you can't even see this, so maybe I'll do this side. How about that? They play kind of an atmospheric, ritualistic, occult type doom, very slow, very plotting. Think like Neurosis, maybe mixed with some Yob, kind of minimalistic, the same kind of riff over and over, but they got a lot of like keyboard ambience, a lot of repetition. It's got a lot of Minsk vibes as well, and I'll talk about them probably later on, but I think these guys have some real potential. I actually saw them open up for, I don't remember what a band it was, but they actually recognized me from like a YouTube video or something. Like the lead singer guitar player like came over to me and like knew my name, which was kind of crazy. Yeah, it was insane. Like he had seen like one of Marty Worm's videos or something that he mentioned me or something, or showed a picture. I don't even remember exactly how, but so yeah, that was kind of cool. And so yeah, I bought two of these. I think I sent Rick one. So Rick, if you're watching, definitely check this out. I know it kind of looks like a bare bones kind of thing, but it's really good. And I know that they're working on a follow-up to this. And I think in the next week or so, they're going to have some news, maybe on a pre-order or something. I don't think they've been signed. I don't think they, do a lot of touring other than maybe a local show here and there. It doesn't seem like they get up to Chicago for any shows, as of yet. It's kind of local to central part of the state. But I'm really high on this band. I think if they get a decent push with like maybe some kind of doom record label or social media, that they might get some traction. I hope so. 3-piece band, just a guitar player, vocalist, a bass player who also sings a little bit and plays the keyboards, and then a drummer. So really cool stuff. We're in the mood for that kind of Neurosis, heavy, just plotting type doom.
Cool. Yeah.
Night Mother.
I will have to re-listen to them because they're at the very end of the comp, right?
They are, and they do The Void,
which is an 11.5-minute song. And I think
long.
By that point, I was like shutting down.
Yeah. And it's
so I don't remember them from the comp.
Yeah, if you go on Bandcamp, they actually have a remastered version of that song that they uploaded to Bandcamp. In fact, it might be the same version.
Is there stuff cheap? Is there stuff cheap on there?
Oh yeah, this is $5. This is $5.
Dude, I will definitely be purchasing something.
It's just this, but
that's all I would want from this band,
Yeah. They do got some cool t-shirt designs. I think they still have this one up.
Yeah. There's one with a mammoth on it. That's cool.
Sure, you always gotta have the mammoth option.
Got to. It's
I was super
one of
happy
the
to see that.
cornerstone animals. Yeah.
As I'm looking, the comp comes out and I'm looking through it, and when I saw them included, I was really happy for them, to get some attention, to get some recognition, because like I said, most of these bands are from Chicago land area.
And that's
to see someone like from here is just really cool. And so definitely hope they get. I'm anxious to hear some new stuff, because this has been out since 2020, and I think before that they had maybe just a demo tape.
See, that's why this Weedian is so impressive, that they're able to like find. I don't even know where they're based out of, but like they still find these bands that they've only released like one EP, or some of the bands on my comp, it's like one fucking song.
And it's just Bandcamp only.
Bandcamp only.
Ends
up on the comp. It's impressive.
I would, because I think these type of regional discussions and these regional scenes are so fascinating, that sometimes I'll just kind of like pick it. I'll hear about a band from a particular area. Like, there's a band called Dope Scum that's from like, they're from Tennessee somewhere. And so I'll just kind of check out Dope Scum, their social media, and see where they're playing and what other bands are playing with. And then I'll get an idea of like who else to check out. You know what I mean? Like other sludgy type bands from that kind of general area, Memphis, Tennessee, or Knoxville, Tennessee, and who they're playing with. And then you kind of hone in on that regional, Tennessee mountain sludge scene, which is really good right now. Same thing with like St. Louis. I'm following Fister, and I'm seeing who Fister's playing with, locally. And it's just a good way to kind of see what's going on right now in that scene, as far as local shows and what bands are doing and who they're playing with.
Mm-hmm. Good way to find stuff, and a little what if kind of thing, right? Like, what if I lived there and could see these bands and be a part of this scene and stuff like that?
Yeah, well, actually, sometimes I have to, for work. Sometimes I go down to the St. Louis area. Mm-hmm. So I always try and, like, if I have an option to like maybe pick a time frame to go down there when there's like a cool show. Like the last time I was there, I think I was a one day off from seeing Crowbar.
Oh,
I think they're going to play with Spirit
Drift. Spirit Drift.
Yeah, and I set up this like 3-day trip, and the day I was coming back was the night they were playing. So like, I really got to do a little research next time I head down to St. Louis.
Yep. Plan your work trips around record stores and concerts.
Definitely, I was able to.
That's how you do it.
Absolutely.
All right. I'm gonna rip through two here real quick, because I saw both these bands I'm about to talk about.
Yeah.
At a show sponsored by Weedian in honor of the North Carolina comp. And Brian, really? I sent you albums from both of these bands.
Well, I have two that I think you may be talking about. So
yeah,
let's just see.
All right, let's see. So Weedian, in honor of their comp, they hosted a show featuring 3 of the bands. 2 of them had like actual stuff to buy. And I'm talking about, first off, Cosmic Reaper, which they've been making a lot of. I think they're trying to get bigger. I'm pretty sure they are trying to position themselves to take that next step as far as being a band goes. They're playing a big festival out in California. It's one of those distros. It's not the Cosmic Peddler. It might be
is it
Heavy Psych Sounds, maybe?
Sounds. Yeah, that's
it. They're playing that festival out there, and they're doing a tour to get out that way. I think they're playing with. I'm going to see them with Bongzilla when Bongzilla comes through. But yeah, dude, Cosmic Reaper is great. This is their debut self-titled album. I also have a little slipcase for their debut EP, Demon Dance. I think they really, and you can. I'm interested in your opinion on their sound, Brian, because I think they really focus on certain elements of the classic sleep sound, or like the modern sleep sound, like the sciences and Artisan's Thought and stuff like that, where it's all very super slow and mesmerizing, and you're just locked into this groove, and it's just insanely heavy. And in the live setting, it's trance-inducingly heavy. But I think they sound a little bit darker than Sleep does. Like their guitar tone might be a little more menacing, if you will, and I think their overall aesthetic and approach is a little bit more menacing. The 4-piece from Charlotte, North Carolina, this album right here, the track that's featured on the comp is Wasteland. That one's great. It's got some of their catchier like guitar hooks on it. The opening song, Hellion, is killer too. It definitely builds an atmosphere, but still is very riff oriented. I also recommend the track Stellar Death too. Kind of plays a little bit more with some dynamics and stuff. So Cosmic Reaper, I think a band to watch for. I think they're really trying to do some stuff. Trying to be a little bit more noticed. They just released a split, I believe, on Heavy Psych Sounds, or a Doom Session split.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That I want to get.
What was the other band they did it with? It was another cool band.
Shit.
We're going to have to look now. Because I saw that. I think I saw that when I was making that last Cosmic Peddler order.
Yeah. Because it's definitely on there. It's like
End Time. Actually, I'm not familiar with them. Swedish. Anyway, okay.
I think they definitely have some overlap with some international acts too, for sure. Like they're in the North Carolina scene. I think they're kind of unique to me. But Sleep is the band that I think of the most when thinking of them. Then the band that headlined the Weedian trip to North Carolina show was Basque, which this is their third album, just titled 3, on Season of Mist. And these guys are one of those bands that I would not necessarily classify as metal. They really kind of strike in between a couple different genres, if you will. I would definitely classify them more as just a hard rock band that puts value in being emotive and emotionally vulnerable, kind of. Like it's got like the bombastic nature of metal, but then there's a lot of like beautiful guitar parts, and the focus of the song is mainly on like vocal hooks and like more guitar oriented dynamics. James is asking like Catatonia. I wouldn't say Catatonia, because at the same time they still sound very southern. Like this album in particular makes me think of the Appalachian Mountains. Like when I am listening to this album, it makes me just picture a spring morning in March after like a night of camping, and all the trees are in bloom. There's like a cool crispness to the air. I don't know, just it's one of those albums that kind of transports you to the geographical location of North Carolina, which I appreciate. Tracks New Dominion, which is the one that's on the EP, is just really well done and well written. It builds around a chorus, and the chorus builds each time until it just kind of crescendos, almost like post rock a little bit. The other song I want to mention, Rid of You, track 4, is extremely emotive and extremely vulnerable, and just a beautiful song. Like these are emotions and types of songs that you would not necessarily expect from. Oh, there we go. From this scene. So to me, it definitely makes them stand out, and I think they're cool. And let me tell you, live, they are fucking heavy. Like it,
Yeah.
they're definitely borderline metal on record, but in the live setting, they are not like that. Brian, what's your input on these?
Yeah, I like both of these. I got the Cosmic Reaper. Is this just self-titled? Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
What I like about it is it looks so kind of dark and ominous, but then you look over here, it's like there's this motorcycle.
Yeah,
so it's still got kind of that bluesy type of renegade type sound, but totally kind of repetitious and plotting and dark and doomy. I've listened to this one quite a bit. I have not spent a whole lot of time with Basque. I listened to it a couple times this week, and this one is Ramble Beyond. And yeah, I'd agree. I think they're probably more in the stoner rock type category if we're pigeonholing, But sometimes that's what hits a spot, and it's really really well done. So that's cool. You went to like the Weedian show. I mean, was like the dude there? I mean, obviously, I wonder if he's from the area.
Yeah, I don't know. It
the guy
was
who
weird
runs
because
admin or whatever.
yeah, I'll have to check because it was cool to see. I mean, the venue was one of those like smaller venues in Charlotte, which I feel like you'd have to be at least somewhat local to know.
Was it Snug Harbor?
Yeah, Snug Harbor.
I saw it mentioned in here.
Oh, on like the thanks list.
Yeah. And you mentioned it before.
Yes, dude, that has one of the best sounding venue I've ever been in.
Right.
I saw a Primitive Man there, and
Damn.
I took out one headphone, and it was pain. It was like agony. I was like, the loudest concert I've ever been to was at that venue from Primitive Man. So.
Yeah, James talking about Black Tusk.
Yeah.
I like Black Tusk. I saw them play. It was the first show I saw kind of when the pandemic was winding down. I saw them play with Savage Master. Who else? Fister, I think, was there too.
I've missed seeing them live a couple times. I definitely like Black Tusk.
Because they were on Relapse too.
Yes.
Weren't they?
Yeah. They did like Taste the Sin, and that was a good one.
Isn't that a band I'm totally, familiar with? I might have some of their CDs.
I have one. I think I have TCBT is what it's called.
I'm not sure.
Which it's the one because they had their I think it was their bassist guy passed away in a motorcycle accident.
Oh, okay.
So I have the one after that.
Oh, Pillars of Ash. Yeah. I have Set the Dial. I recognize that one.
Set the Dial I really need.
I think I have Taste of Sin as well, which looks like a Baisley cover.
Yes. Baisley did a couple, I think, and that was one of his earlier ones, I believe.
Yeah, that was looking at 2010.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he probably did Passes Through Purgatory too. It looks like him.
Set the Dial. That's actually one of those early metal albums I got into. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah. Which I was like, yeah, this is great, but I mean, not amazing, but it's great.
Yeah,
it's one of those that's like it's still one that I return to just because it's got a little bit of nostalgia for me. So.
Savannah, Georgia. All right. Well, maybe they'll be on the trip to Georgia.
There is a sludge scene I want to dive into for sure. The Savannah scene.
Georgia, or just Savannah specifically.
Savannah specifically, but also Georgia overall. But Savannah specifically, that's got Kylesa and Black Tusk and Jucifer and a couple other ones. But All right.
All right.
You ready to try to share your screen? And
Yeah, we're gonna try and do a since we don't have there's a couple more we want to talk about, but we don't have physical stuff to show, so we're gonna go to Bandcamp because that's best place to
let's do it.
Find stuff like that. Let me try this. Present, share screen, window, share. Good.
And
can you see?
We're
can you
live.
see
Let's see.
it works?
Yep.
All right. Minsk was a band I was that's another Relapse band. We were just talking about Black Tusk being on Relapse. Relapse really pushed them. I think they were trying to strike gold with like another Neurosis, So they formed here in Peoria and put out, let's see, they probably put out that Burning demo, and then they put out another album first, and then the first Relapse album was the Ritual Fires of Abandonment. Are you familiar with Minsk at all?
Just songs. I really try to get into the Crash and the Draw. Yeah, and I liked it, but it didn't hook me to end up buying it. But
I would check out the earlier stuff. I think that's probably better. I personally like the Ritual Fires of Abandonment best. They are definitely in that kind of Neurosis style, the noisy, droney, very atmospheric. They have just a ton of kind of tribal type percussion going on. A lot of Middle Eastern sounds to it, just crushingly heavy, big buildups, ups and downs. Their last full length was 2015. I think that was with Echoes in the Movement of Stone. No. The Crash and the Draw was the last full length. And then this song that they put on the comp was the last thing that they've released, called Invoke Revive, which was split with this band called Zadokrab or something. That's an excellent track. I really liked it. It's the first time I had heard it.
I definitely thought it was a highlight for sure. And it's like 15 minutes or some shit like that.
I think so. This is another Sanford Parker project. He played bass with them for a time period. I think they're still active. I haven't seen that they've been touring at all. Obviously Sanford Parker is a Chicago guy, but the rest of the band is from here in Peoria.
That's cool.
It's actually funny because their drummer actually worked at a gas station down the street from my house. And he's very recognizable. He's got like long hair. He's got a face tattoo, right?
I was about to ask, how did you figure that out?
yeah. It's right there. And then obviously Relapse was pushing him so much, they had a ton of promotion on him. And I was like, wait a minute, that's the guy who sells me cigarettes every morning. You know what I mean?
That's funny, man.
Yeah, so his day job was working at a gas station, but I don't think he's their drummer anymore. Anyway, it's kind of made me, digging back into them. I never bought anything from them, but it's definitely something I'm searching for. I'm trying to find like a Discog seller that has everything, Yeah. So I definitely want Ritual Fires and with Echoes. I want to get those two. They're really good. Just kind of chilled out, super heavy atmospheric, sludgy type stuff. And I know on Ritual Fires of Abandonment, you'll hear some saxophone by Bruce Lamont from the band Yakuza. You familiar with Yakuza at all?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of these Chicago bands, will have him guest, and you'll hear a sax part on a song or something like that, and it's always him because he's like the metal saxophone dude.
He's the go-to.
Yeah.
Dude, talk about another band. I'll be right back. All right.
Oh, okay. What else? What else I got here? Already kind of lined up. Let me see. I'm trying to figure out how to.
And I think when you do it, you have to click.
Oh,
share
you know what?
screen. It's like, so you go to a new tab, and then you're like,
Actually, I'll just do it this way.
okay.
I'm trying to think of which one I should. Or Bandcamp. Let's go to Blunt. Blunt is another cool band. It's been on my radar for a while. Let's see. So yeah, they got 4 records out, I think. First one is just self-titled called Blunt, and then they did State of Desolation, Broken Down, and then their last one, I don't think has a physical release yet, but it's called Closure. Yeah, so they're from, I wrote this down where they're from. I want to say they are from, okay, they're from DeKalb. So same area as Twin Wizard. Really kind of strung out stoner doom. If you're going to put them somewhere between like Sleep and I Hate God. And each song could have elements of that kind of Sleep or I Hate God, or it could just be one or the other. They really mix it up really well. A lot of that kind of post-hardcore or hardcore sludge type stuff. The vocalist has kind of a strung out, kind of half drugged, like drawl, but then he can also gets going with the screams and the howls. This was one of my Bandcamp purchases yesterday. I finally just like pulled the trigger and bought all 3.
This sounds right up my alley.
Yeah, it's really cool. And it's varied. I mean, this first one right here, this one with the chick, is more straight stoner. You get into some of this other stuff like Desolation or Broken Down. It's more like, down in the gutter type I Hate God sludge, just strung
awesome.
out and deprived. And I mean, if you look at some of these song titles, it's like, how do I do this?
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to I'm trying to match the screen that I'm on. Okay, here we go. As far as the song titles, it's like Working Poor, 24-pack, Parasite, and this other one had some cool song titles too. I think this new Enclosure, Shrooms. I think Shrooms is the song they picked for the comp. No, it's the other one I'm thinking of. Broken Down, Working Poor. No, it's No Stranger to Abuse. Yeah, I think you would like. Yeah. I think you'd like them. Cool band. Another one who gets out and plays some shows on the weekend when they can. When they're not doing their 9 to 5. So yeah,
man, nice. That's
cool stuff. I'm looking forward to digging more into them. Because I feel like I spend more quality time with it if I have the physical release. I can take it. It's in the car.
Me too.
When it's just on Bandcamp, it's cool. I'm glad to have it, but
it's too easy to forget about it, though. Like it's.
Yep.
When it comes to like clicking through files and stuff, you're not going to be drawn to it the same way that you're flipping through your shelf and you're like, oh, what's this spine? So I'm with you. That's why I cling to the physical media so heavily, because I don't think I would hear the music the same way if not for being on physical format. So
yeah.
Which I got one more
physical?
One more physical to show, and this one I think is different because this is one that after I started listening to this compilation, in preparation to do this stream, I realized that I'd been passing up this album in my local record store used bin for like months, and that it was just a local sludge band from Asheville, North Carolina. This is
U.S. Christmas.
Yeah, U.S. Christmas.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, and they're one of those bands that they're often talked about, but they're like another one of those borderline not metal bands. They're kind of more Neurosis-esque, if you will, as far as their focus on repetition, and their focus on building an atmosphere, and their focus on throwing just literally everything at you.
Yeah.
Also, this is like an 80-minute long album, so it's
long.
It's insane. As soon as I realized that this was U.S. Christmas, I mean, it's not very obvious, right? Like, it's USX, and like the name of the album is actually Run Thick in the Night, and it's just abbreviated RTITN. I mean, they're not really trying to sell people, on this. So, but this came out on Neurot recordings, so I guess that's the Neurosis comparison.
I think they actually kind of discovered them. One of the guys from Neurosis, I'm not sure which one.
I could see that. I know they did a lot of touring. They've done a lot of touring with Neurosis and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, this is just an immense album, and one that is not immediate. It takes multiple listens. Last night I don't smoke too often, but last night I broke out the old weed pen and listened to this one while smoking, and it was an incredibly mesmerizing experience, especially from a percussive standpoint. Like, all of the mini drums passages, really very tribal, very Tom oriented, really stuck out to me. I would kind of describe this band as a mixture of Neurosis and Crippled Black Phoenix, if you know them.
I don't, but
like
I know they're from the one album that I know fairly well, Eat the Low Dogs, that their influence are kind of all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And I listened to that one this week, and it's good.
Black Phoenix?
Yeah, no, Eat the Low Dogs is the one I listened to this week.
Oh, from U.S. Christmas. Yeah. It's I heard that one, which I'll have to check out after this, but I heard that one is a little more riff driven. This is a lot more atmospheric, and I think a lot more built around repetition. And there's a lot of sax, there's a lot of brass instruments, there's a lot of like crazy spacey effects on it that I'm assuming like a fully functioning sample person, like kind of like similar to Neurosis, where they'll just build this wall of sound centered around like bizarre effects and keys and synths and stuff. But a couple songs just to list off. Opening song, In the Night, that one is the most Crippled Black Phoenix sounding. Wolf on Anaretta is the one that is on the comp, and that one has a killer like saxophone kind of hook, and I think I like how the vocals themselves are very much in the sludge vein. So that's kind of what grounds them to this comp. But there's some folk on here as well. So it's just a real all over the place kind of album. But one I'd heavily recommend. Also, cheers to Frederick, who just popped in.
Frederick's here.
Now it's a party.
Nice.
Now it's a thrash party. Start showing your thrash records. You got any more beer in your ice pack over there?
I do. I have one left. I'll have to bust it open here a sec. After I
Oh, good. You ready for the next on your tab?
I gotta mute when I burp, or else I'll blow everybody out. Yeah,
dude, this is a sludge stream. It's all about the fucking burps and the reverb.
I've not heard that album by U.S. Christmas. So I was like, Eat the Law Dogs doesn't really sound like Neurosis, so they must have mixed it up a little bit. So yeah, definitely check out that one, the one before.
I
And
will.
see if you dig it. Maybe more. Let's see.
All right, we're toggling you back. Oh, we're on Metallum.
Let's see. Okay. I don't know how to figure it out, so I'll just go from here to where I want to go, which is talk about Plague of Carcosa.
Yes, which they're the one band that has 2 songs.
2 songs, and if you notice, they did the write-up for the end. Did. The guy, one of the I think the main guy, or the guitar player. Did that work? Did that work? Let me stop screen.
See,
try again.
There should be a way to toggle your tabs as you're going through. Look at
yeah. Let's try that. That's the one I want to show.
All right, here we go.
All right, Plague of Carcosa, Chicago band. Another one that plays a lot in the area, and they are interesting. And you said you checked them out. The songs, at least the songs on the comp.
Yeah, I really like the songs on the comp. They kind of reminded me of Bolt Thrower. Oh, no, Bongzilla. Jesus Christ, where did I get Bolt Thrower from?
Yeah, they're kind of this kind of Lovecraftian doom noise type band. Very moody, very atmospheric. Two piece, which I think is interesting. Just guitar and drums, real thick, sludgy. A lot of their stuff's really droning. They have, I think they put out one full length here recently, last year maybe. But most of their stuff is not available on a physical release. It's all in Bandcamp. And in fact, I think this, going to the merch, this Unearthly Geometry, it was a cassette only, looks like, limited to 45. When I was looking at this a couple days ago, they had copies. It looks like it's sold out now. No, I mean, maybe not. No, it looks like they have. It looks like you can still buy it.
That's a cassette? Yeah.
Yeah, cassette only. Looks like they did a little, they did a limited vinyl release on this Unearthly Geometry. But this is another EP, Dream Quest of Unknown Cadith. That's sold out. Oh, here's the. Oh yeah, it looks like cassette's still available. The vinyl's sold out. If you listen to their other stuff. Oh shit.
Oh, damn it, my bad. I was trying to gear up mine.
I
kicked you out, but you're good. You're good.
I have not heard their full length. I don't even know if it's released yet, or their full length from. If I can go back to it, Pale Light and Sunless Waters. Okay, it is up. I have not listened to this yet. This came out in. I'm not sure. Oh, last month. This came out. I have not listened to this yet. What I did do was I listened to everything else, and I'd recommend their EPs. I think this song here, Haster, is the one they included on the comp. The Ritual 1 demo is kind of this really long, like 45-minute improvisational piece that is interesting. I would probably stick with the more focused stuff, like the other EPs and stuff, Rats in the Walls, Unearthly Geometry. But yeah, really cool, noisy, sludgy instrumental doom. A lot of feedback, a lot of droning. It's good stuff if you're in the mood for it. That's what I'll say about Plague of Carcosa. Really cool name too.
Yeah.
All right, and I guess the last one. Well, not the last one, but
do you want
to? I'll pull this one up real quick.
Okay.
Canyon.
Mm-hmm.
With 2 Y's. Now this is a band I had kind of passed over, and then started listening to it a lot yesterday, and got really into this album. And I think they got a jewel case version so this was another Bandcamp pickup for me yesterday. Really cool straight stoner doom. Really smoky, kind of bluesy based barroom type rock. But it's got some really catchy hooks too. I really like this one. And sorry, I'm reading the comments.
Yeah.
Just another cool stoner rock band that's from Chicago area. Another one that's playing live, I think, a little bit. Anxious to get. I was actually, sometimes when you listen to stuff on Bandcamp, it'll cut you off. It's like, okay, now is the time to open your wallet. You can hit yes or no, and sometimes you can hit no and you can keep listening, and sometimes when you hit no, it just will cut you off. And so yesterday afternoon, it cut me off, and I'm like, okay, well, I had to. So
you had to buy it.
Bought the CD. Obviously, you get the Bandcamp download with it too. So I was happy. Anxious to get in the mail, but I was happy that I'd keep listening to it. I was working at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, really cool stuff. "Bring Me Down" is the track that they put on the album. Good track, good song, really good song. All right, that's 2 for me. I think I only got maybe 1 or 2 left to talk about.
Okay, let me
Other than our, yeah, go ahead.
Let me start rattling off something.
Yeah.
I guess. First off, real quick, are we ready to crack like the last beer of the
Sure. Yeah, let me grab my.
James says he's up for one more, and I think we should have one more with James over here.
I'm having another Goes, 2 of Tarts, which I've had before on.
Man, you how do you find all these ghost beers?
I don't. Well, I mean the distill stuff is around, and then I pretty much just go to my local Benny's Beverage Depot and go to their wall.
Oh, wow.
It's like a pick a beer wall or build your own 6-pack.
Yeah.
And I grab anything that's a sour, and this one I think I've talked about this. This is from Bloomington, Indiana. So
no.
I got one from Bloomington, Normal, Illinois, and one from Bloomington, Indiana. Oh, this is green.
Indiana, Illinois. Some people change them up pretty easily. So
yeah, some people do. Ooh, this one's got passion fruit and mango.
Oh, that sounds sick. So this is my.
Can you see that? It's got floaters in it.
Oh, it's all about the floaters.
Yeah, floaters.
I'll put you in solo for the floaters.
Oh.
Let me see them floaters.
Look at them in there.
Yep, all about the yeast. So this is my one Chicago beer. I'm happy. This is really as far as like Illinois breweries. Goose Island.
Yep, they're big one.
That's about all we get out here. Like,
do you get
I get to still sometimes, but I have to.
You get 3 Floyds, don't you?
No. Nope.
Are they Chicago or are they Indiana?
No, they're Illinois. I don't know if they're in Chicago, but they're definitely. Shit! I just look them up real quick. I thought they were in Illinois.
I thought they were too.
But outside of Chicago,
No, they're in Munster, Indiana.
Oh well, shit. There you go.
Munster.
But no 3 Floyds. So I've wanted to have some of their stuff for a while, but
okay.
Because they do so many partnerships with like Pig Destroyer, Obituary, Cannibal Corpse, High on Fire.
Yeah.
One of the head brewers was Todd Hogg for a while from the band Power Mad, and so a lot of metal pedigree from 3 Floyds. But yeah, this is their tropical beer hug from Goose Island, an Imperial IPA, 10%. So does not taste like 10% either.
10%. Holy shit.
9.9 Can you believe that? It's, and it does not. It tastes more citrusy than anything. So this is my going out in style beer. So, and cheers to
Nick.
Thralls over here. What's up, Nick? All right, so let me start running through a couple. I might do 3 or 4 on my.
Okay, and then we got some other topics to discuss briefly
to wrap it all up. But we were speaking of COC earlier, of course, and Reed Mullen. And this is actually one of the bands that he created during the hibernation period of Corrosion before they reformed in like 2008. So let me see if I can find where it kind of talks about it. This was released on Ripple Music. This is the band Righteous Fool with their self-titled album. Very 70s inspired rock for sure. Yeah, so Reed Mullen and guitarist Jason Browning both formed this band and kind of recorded this with bassist Mike Dean joined back for this release. They tried to release it on Southern Lord, but I guess it didn't follow through. So finally, in the passing of course, Reed, they released this back in 2020. So it's like I liked it. I didn't necessarily love it, but I thought because of the Reed Mullen connection, I should definitely just mention it.
It's got some legacy there.
Definitely got some legacy. It's cool album cover. As I said, definitely a lot more of that like 70s hard rock vibe than metal, especially from like the song that is on the comp. But still something I'll probably try to check out in full. And then speaking of albums that I checked out in full that I really want to find that I've not been able to find at all. This is The Sign of the Southern Cross. I know you mentioned this one to me. They have the song Eating the Sun, I believe, the one that appears on the comp. And it's just like a beautiful like hard rock bluesy number.
One of my favorite songs from the comp from the North Carolina comp. That one stuck out. Yeah.
So this one came out on Season of Mist back in 2009. It has not aged well, as you can tell. It's definitely of a different scene, but it's a fucking kick-ass comp, and it's the closest I think we will ever get to certain albums from Pantera and NOLA. I mean, I listened to this one the other day, and it's too long. First off, it's 13 songs in about an hour and 5 minutes. That it doesn't need to be that long, but there's some just killer down. I mean, it sounds like they're essentially just aping down. In fact, this song, "The South Is Rising," is a direct tribute to shit. Where's my
what is the song that's
Eyes of the South? Eyes of the South.
Yeah.
From NOLA.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally, there's certain parts of it that are directly ripped off of it, and the vocalist especially just has that Phil Anselmo gruff and clean singing sound.
Oh yeah, he's totally going for that Phil sound, almost too
much. I mean,
it was totally too much. I mean, now the song on the comp, "Eat the Sun," maybe not as much, and that's the one I was like, oh man, I got to check out the album, and then I did. I'm like, fuck, this is just like it's a Pantera cover band.
It literally is.
I did not. I was 2 or 3 songs, and I'm like, fuck this. I really did not click with me at all.
You didn't like the full album?
No, it just sounded like I'm fine usually with
like a cover band style.
Yeah, bands who are just kind of playing a certain style, but this one bothered me. It was so much. It was so much of a like Great Southern Trendkill type copy clone that I was like, it didn't do anything for me.
Which that's
It was the
that's
vocals.
like the
I gotta
one.
be honest. It was the vocals. The vocals were just so Phil Anselmo spot on that it was like, I just can't. I can't get it out of my. I can't get that part out of my mind. So I kind of stopped listening. But I do like that song, "Eat the Sun." I think it's a really cool song.
Yeah, I guess like because I'm not a huge Pantera fan myself. Like,
Oh, really?
Great Southern Trendkill is like the one that's like about half of Cowboys from Hell and most of Great Southern Trendkill are the ones that I kind of enjoy. So I guess this was just like a not really a balance because it literally is. It's just is Great Southern Trendkill with a little bit of that down Nola
Sludgy
sludge.
down. Yeah.
But I don't know. I enjoyed about probably more than half of the songs on here. Like Huck Finn, I thought was a funny one. The South is Rising, as I said, is a direct ripoff of Eyes of the South, but I thought it was just cool, like nostalgic vibe. Hog Callin' is the song I sent to you, and that's just obnoxious in like the best of ways. It literally opens up with the vocalist doing like a hog squeal, and the riffs are just amazing. I like Scry too, and then Eating the Sun is, of course, as Brian said, it's like it's their Stone the Crow, if you will.
Maybe not as it's a little more laid back. I think Stone the Crow's got a decent kind of rhythm to it, and this is a little bit slower than that, I thought.
Yeah, you're right about that. All right, I'm gonna show one more, and I'll hand it back to you. So this is one of those like kind of up and coming bands that I think is about to like take the scene forward for the next couple of years. Doomsday Prophet out of Durham, or just the Triangle scene, so Durham, Raleigh. They're definitely in that hard rock sludge vein as well, but like the vocals are super gruff. They've been playing live a lot, so I will probably end up catching them shortly, but probably be picking up their debut CD as well. The album that pops up on the comp, I believe, is not on here. Oh well, but this is a fun sign of where the scene is going for sure. It's super heavy, but it still acknowledges like a more bluesy and laid back side of things.
Yes, Doomsday Prophet was another standout.
Yeah. All right. You ready?
I might pull an audible.
Dude, pull an audible. What you got?
I'm going to do it. I'm going to actually show a North Carolina band that I picked up, Crystal Spiders.
Yes.
Were you going to talk about them?
No, I don't have. Okay. I don't have any of their stuff, dude. Pull it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going through this comp and this band kind of stood out, and I started diving into their stuff. Female fronted. I think it's just a two-piece. It's just a bass player, vocalist, and a drummer. This is their second album called Molt. I don't exactly know what part of the state they're from. But oh, nice. Thralls knows this one. Crystal Spiders. Looks like Mike Dean did some lead guitar work on this.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Also, a couple other people did too. But yeah, just really, really cool Southern style, real fuzzy. Again, kind of slightly occult type stoner doom. Really cool stuff. I enjoyed this a lot, and so yeah, when I was searching through Cosmic Peddler, which is a great label / distro based out of San Antonio. They got a ton of stuff. They get a lot of stuff from overseas, import type stuff, and the free shipping threshold is like $35. So it's like, that's pretty good as far as usually it's like 50 and then you get free shipping. But so yeah, I actually got this in yesterday, so really cool, really happy. And the album before this, I think, is something I was looking for, but they didn't have it in stock. But the song "See You in Hell" is what they added on the comp.
Yeah,
really cool, fuzz driven, just stoner rock type stuff.
Dude,
Crystal Spiders.
Good pull for sure.
Yeah, I like that.
And so the singer is on a couple other bands from the scene. Like,
oh yeah,
on the same comp, she's on the band Lightning Born.
All right.
With, I think, which is like the song right before that one comes on.
Yeah.
Shit, I'm trying to find it. But then she's also in a band called The Hell No. So yeah, she singer for Lightning Born, Shifting Winds, which is a bit more 70s, a bit more like occult 70s rock style. And then The Hell No is a lot more like classic rock, a little bit AC/DC kind of stuff.
All right.
So definitely like a band and a bunch of people from like specifically the Raleigh scene that I've known about. I've just never gotten the chance to try to listen to them,
All right, let me do a share screen. This we might be getting into like best band names here.
Bro, we can start with that too.
See. Present. Oh yeah, Coke Goat.
The Coke Goat.
I love their logo. It's got all this, it's got the pentagram, it's got the cross, it's got
peace and love, man, from Coke Goat.
Yeah, Coke Goat's cool. They throw a lot of styles together. They've been around for a little bit too. This is kind of like dreamy, grimy, post-metal sludge. We'll call it that, sure.
I love that.
Yeah, really interesting. Really, if you read, let's just read the write-up here because this probably is going to describe better. Within the ashes of a dumpster fire, Coke Goat found solace in the 17 perfect minutes of Pink Floyd's Dogs. Due to sheer lack of effort, it took years to complete their cover of those many moments and movements of music. Oh wait, that's because it's fuck that. But so this is the one I've listened to the most. This is an album from 2013 called Vessel. If you notice, they still have copies available, and I believe it is a full length.
Oh shit!
They're only $15.
Is that the LP?
LP. I should have grabbed it yesterday during my Bandcamp spending spree, but I didn't. They also have this one called Drugs and Animals. Really cool too. Kind of noisy. Like I said, there's that post-metal, ISIS type stuff, but it's also kind of grungy and kind of like urban. Like we were talking about, like North Carolina has that kind of backwoods type drawl to it. A lot of, Appalachian type instrumentation.
This is a bit more folky Americana stuff.
This is super like just noisy and a lot of feedback driven type stuff. A lot of growling and shouting, but also some clean singing. You know what I mean? So that's Drugs and Animals. When did that come out? 2018. And then it looks like they had one out in 2020. No, this is Sunshine Tracing Light.
I love their album covers. It's just
pretty
simplistic,
pretty abstract. Yeah. So this is actually a split. It looks like. Again, records are available, $15. This I feel like for some reason this band kind of kind of encapsulates the kind of the urban Chicago scene, you know, independent, mixing those different styles together. Yeah, Coco's a good one. I will definitely be probably next Bandcamp Friday, probably picking up this one at least. I really like Vessel. It's really good.
So here's your question: where do they get their name from? You think?
No idea. I'm sure it's
just curious.
If there's anything we know, it's that Illinois bands love to incorporate goat in their title somehow. I think in the comp, if we're keeping score, it's what, 3-1. We got a coat goat, we got a gamma goat, and then we also have what's the last one? Long live the goat.
Oh, long live the goat.
Yeah. All three.
I think the ultimate. We'll have to reconvene at the end, but I think the ultimate word from the stream is goat. I think goat comes up the most often. It's either goat or bong. It's one of those.
Oh yeah, there's some bongs. Okay, stop screen. So that's probably my last Bandcamp stuff, and then we got your stuff.
So let me do a couple more real quick. So here we go. From Doomsday Prophet, we're gonna go to Void Word. So this is one of the ones that I bought. I bought this one on Bandcamp Friday. It'll be here next week sometime. Power Trio from Durham, North Carolina. Very atmospheric, very like psychedelic tinged. I would still say more sludge than doom, but just super catchy. Like they really focus on writing great hooks, and there's a little bit of shoegaze in here too. I feel like the song that pops up on the comp is Wolves, and it just has a chorus that is literally now stuck in my head. But I listened to this whole album and really, really great, really good songwriting throughout. And I hope this band continues to perform live, because I don't think I've seen them outside of like the Triangle, Durham, Raleigh area. So we have Void Word, one I would definitely recommend checking out. Another one, mainly for the name, Bongfoot, man. And look at this album cover right here. This is Mr. Bongfoot himself. Yeah, we got Bigfoot out here, but look at his foot.
Well, like he's actually got a bong for a foot?
He's got a bong for a foot.
He's like a character.
Yeah. Let me see if I don't think they have their merch on this Bandcamp page, but all their shirts or everything that they sell features this signature character with bong for the foot, walking across, like that Bigfoot crossing. So
it's like what's that show with David Carradine? Where he just kind of roams the earth as a shaman, having adventures.
Yeah.
What's that show called? He's like a samurai. Anyway.
Oh man, I'm not sure. This is a great, just a fun band. Their song that's on the comp is Blood Orgy, and I'm pretty sure it's about mammal cruelty at SeaWorld.
Oh well, yeah, that's.
I mean,
people get pissed at SeaWorld.
Yeah, all I know is the chorus. It starts with it's very dynamic. It starts with like a quiet, where they're singing "Dolphins Cry."
Yep.
Over and over again, and then all of a sudden it gets super loud, and the guy's like, "Fuck SeaWorld," and it's just intense sludge riffage. I would definitely recommend at least checking out that one, Blood Orgy. And then another one I gotta share. Dude, fucking Hail Hornet. Do you know this band, Brian?
I know a little bit. I know Eric Larson mostly from his work in the glorious Alabama Thunder Pussy.
Yes.
But I know he did a this was his like side project. Shit.
Well, do you know who else is in the side project?
Tell me.
I mean, it's fucking Dixie Dave and T-Roy.
Really? Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
Dude, look at this.
No shit.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna buy this album. There's a couple eBay sellers I'm checking where I can get it for like $10, but
were they on Relapse?
yeah, on Relapse.
Yeah. I remember them.
To me, it's like an even more intense version of the most intense songs from Sour Vein and Weed Eater. Like
Really?
the song that makes it on the comp is Scars, and dude, that song just rips your face off. It's like it's double bass a lot, I guess, which is Eric Larson, right?
Does he play drums on it? He's a guitar player.
Oh shit, maybe he doesn't.
In Alabama Thunder Pussy.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
I mean, maybe he plays drums on it. I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm trying to see if it says it on here, but it's there's a lot of double bass on it, and it's just a killer, very energetic, very punk oriented, but then still some like extreme metal intensity, I think, on some of these songs. So Hail Hornet is one that I will definitely be picking up from this.
Okay. Yeah, he does. He plays drums.
Oh, he does play drums.
And then Vince Burke from Beaten Back to Pure plays guitar. Okay, cool.
I did not know Beaten Back to Pure.
Do you know them at all?
No, not at all.
Oh, you'd like them. Check it out. Real southern sludgy type stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, so I mean, like
Yeah.
this is a no-brainer, like win.
Yep.
Hail Hornet, hail. Is all I'm gonna say. Do you have any more for this topic, or should I just wrap mine up?
Let me.
I'll go.
Wrap yours up. And if you don't talk about the two that I got left over, because I got a couple more I got two from North Carolina. I'd like to just real
sweet.
quick. So, I'm done with Illinois. Yeah, I've talked about all that.
Do you want me to keep going, or are you ready to pull up your North Carolina ones? Or?
No. Well, I don't want to step on your toes if you have those picked. All right.
Let me go into one more, and then I'll pass it back to you, and then I'll.
I only got two more to talk about.
Okay. So this is another contender. Another contender for best band name, Bogloaf.
Yeah.
Which, man, this band is a fucking trip, dude. I've seen them live, and they're a 3-piece, and it's two big dudes. I'm talking about big dudes, like probably like 600 pounds between the both of them, on like bass and guitar, and they stomp in rhythm to the music, like while they're playing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pretty intense, and I'd say their sound it's like rock and roll played through sludge metal. You know, it's super abrasive, like sludge, and very riff driven, and then at the same time, it's a lot of AC/DC and stuff in there.
Right,
I just gotta highlight that the song that they chose, "Flaccid and Placid." That's I don't know, familiar sometimes, unfortunately.
Right.
A night of drinking beer, you're left flaccid and placid, man.
Yeah. I'm feeling I'm 3 in.
I was about to say, good luck getting lucky after a couple of beers is all I'm going to say.
Bro.
All right. I will.
Yeah, Bogloaf was.
Yeah, Bogloaf is fun.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I don't know if I know how to. Frederick wants me to play a sample. I don't know if I know how to play a sample on this. I'm not that advanced.
Well, can't you just hit play on the Bandcamp thing you just had up?
Oh, would that work? I guess I could try that real quick.
I think it would start playing.
All right, let's see.
What's this one called? Something Pigs? Fire Pigs?
Bad News. See, it's playing on my headphones. Here.
No, I can hear it. I can hear it. Put your headphones back in.
Oh, you can hear?
Okay.
Dude, could you hear it in the headphones?
Well, when you first hit play, I could hear it, and then you unplugged it. It was kind of distorted after that.
So you could hear it in my headphones. Okay.
Yeah, I think I could hear it.
All right, let's try it again.
All right.
Sorry, I already ruined the stream earlier with my constant frozen.
There's been some technical difficulties.
Yeah,
but
so
it is a drunken
it's
metalhead screen, so it's not surprising.
We're on brand, and that's what counts.
Right.
We'll try it again. Here, I gotta turn my shit down.
Yeah, I can hear it. Yeah, I like it.
All right, yeah. That's
that.
That's a preview, I guess.
I think you're right.
Well, I didn't know it was that easy to just play shit over your live stream. I was like trying to unplug stuff.
Well, yeah, when we were doing that, remember when we were doing that? Was it last week or the week before? We were watching. We were on, but we weren't live, and we were watching shit through YouTube.
Oh, yeah,
it worked fine.
Yeah, cool.
Anyway,
good to know. Either way. All right, you got your stuff.
Yeah, let me finish up with a couple more North Carolina bands that I just found very fascinating. Let's see. Here we go. And I'm surprised you didn't bring these guys up.
Let's see.
Ape Vermin.
Man, yeah. Probably like Crystal Spiders.
Yeah.
Just didn't happen upon. And I've never seen them live, too. That's like.
Oh, you have not?
One of those bands, I've missed them a couple times.
Okay. This is their. Yeah, they just went on a U.S. tour. And I mentioned earlier they're playing with Twin Wizard on some of those dates. But yeah, really cool kind of sludgy, primitive, a lot like Sleep, but a little more harsher as far as the vocals. Yeah, so really enjoy. Unfortunately, their Sonic Monolith CD is sold out. It doesn't look like they have a physical version of Arctic Noise, which is their most recent EP. Looks like 21. But yeah, super just, plotting and primitive. I really enjoy that. This is a good one. And then the last one that I really like off of North Carolina is this band called Solar Halos.
Now I did know them and was ready to.
Oh, okay.
To go for it though, because I didn't really have too much to say.
Looks like from Chapel Hill, 2 full-length albums. I actually bought both yesterday. I got the LP of the self-titled, and I also got Cold Light. Both really good. 3-piece, female-fronted, stone, kind of melodic, stoner rock, stoner doom. Still a little bit fuzzy, but really, really catchy. Really enjoyable. This one came out 2019, and it looks like they haven't. It's been a few years since they put out anything new, but they still have stuff available on their Bandcamp. This self-title is really fantastic. Yeah, like it said, a little kind of psychedelic,
That's the one I've heard.
It's
That
still pretty
that one's
heavy.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, it's cool. Another, I think in this genre you see more female vocalists than really anything else. Maybe power metal or traditional metal might rank up there too. But you just see a lot of female vocalists in this style doing this. So, and she's a really good singer, and
There she is.
not really overpowering. Not like just really laid back, and so I think this was a favorite find from this this comp for sure. North Carolina style.
Man, it's cool that you like that one.
And it was just and it was one I heard the first song, and then for some reason yesterday it just clicked with me. Same thing with that Canyon. I'd heard it through the comp, and then I decided to check out the full length. And so Solar Halos and Canyon yesterday were just kind of blew my mind. And so I finally just like last night I'm just like it's like 10 o'clock and I'm just like bye, Bandcamp Friday. I'll worry about the charges, in a few weeks.
Yep. When they hit the credit card and you're like, how do I pay this bill? I'll probably do some more of that, I think, tonight after this stream. After all this stuff. So let me show a couple more, and I'm gonna see if I can do some more of these samples.
Cool, yeah.
Another one of my personal contenders for like best name. Here we go. Witch Tit, the almighty Witch Tit out of Raleigh, North Carolina, and this band right here is one I had the pleasure of seeing live, like with a couple of buddies, like some of my buddies who were not into metal, and we were just more into drinking together and being dumbasses. So I dragged them out to this local metal show in Raleigh to see Witch Tit perform, and they were on stage and they had two plastic silicone boobs at the front of the stage, of course, because Witch Tit, and we ended up stealing one from their stage show because I guess super intoxicated, and that was like our rallying cry for the next couple months was the witch's tit, and we held up the witch's tit, and it was a fun experience with this band. This is before this album came out, Intoxicating Lethargy. So let me see if I can play a sample off of The Traveler.
This is Witch Tit?
This is Witch Tit.
I like it.
Yeah, it's definitely slower.
Yeah, is it instrumental?
No, I think I picked the wrong song. I don't remember which one. Let me fast forward a little bit in it. There we go.
All right, there you go.
Female vocalist too.
Do you think it's safe to switch this kid on my work computer?
Ah.
No, fine.
All right, I gotta stop.
Yeah, she got a cool voice.
Yes, I like this band. Yeah.
It was hard to if you're listening to just the comp straight through.
To get a feel.
Yeah, because I would usually find something interesting and then just go on a little bit of a sidetrack and listen to the if they got an EP or a full length.
Yeah, I mean
I was listening to the comp.
And it's tough to figure out what bands you want to pursue, like the actual dive into like a full length, So
yeah,
James thought it sounded like Geddy Lee. That was
sure
that was a chick who I guess sounds like Geddy Lee.
Yeah, but he's got kind of that.
He does
kind of nasally delivery as well.
All right, here's the next band. I'm gonna try to pronounce them right. This is a fucking nerdy biology band. So it's a one man band called Escaping Agartha, and here he's got a. It's one of those bands where he's released a bunch of stuff over like 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it is ambient, but the reason that this I was drawn to this is the one song on both of these comps that was Funeral Doom is from this band. So they play around with like some blackened Funeral Doom kind of releases. So this is his statement of purpose. The goal of Escaping Agartha is to educate people about specific examples of ongoing destruction in the biological world using extreme music as an educational tool. So this is all from the guy named Avery, who's a biologist, and basically creating all these albums around biology. So
all right,
I first want to kind of dive into some of the ambient stuff. So this album, Strigiforms, which cool cover, right?
Yeah. Is that an owl?
Yeah, it's a ambient album which is themed around the vocalizations of all of the owl species. So literally, he just takes
no shit.
He takes the call of these owls and turns them into a full blown song, And here we have it. This is the African Scops owl in 6.5 minutes. Over here is the elf owl at 11.5 minutes. Barn owl only 4.5. So he must not be that good. And he does that for some of the he does bird calls on this avian album with like the ambient. But this one right here, which I don't know if he was trying to make a joke or what, but it's called Croak. And it's about amphibian extinction. So
Of course.
But it's Funeral Doom. Let me play a section real quick. And maybe James is right that Agartha is from a sun song. So there's the frogs in the beginning. All right, I think you get the idea, right? That's
Croak.
That's Croak. Very. I mean, it changes dynamic speed and range for sure. Do you know the band Loss? I think they're from Tennessee.
Yep, I do know Loss.
This album reminds. This album reminds me of Loss, Horizonless. Yes, I love Horizonless. By the way, that's it's an amazing album.
I think their EP or their demo is really good too. The one with the guy, just kind of like a black and white with the guy hanging.
Yes.
What's that one's called? Despair or
Despond, I think.
Despond, yeah. That one's I like that one too. I dig that. And they got CDs, looks like.
They do. I'm gonna post
Jewel Case?
I'm gonna post a link. Jewel Case. I'm gonna post a link in the chat because I would just recommend just checking out this guy's stuff because he's got a bunch of different stuff on there. But yeah, I think
definitely had like a Evoken, Thurgothan type.
Yeah. So here,
vibe in that.
I would definitely recommend this Croak album on CD, but they also have Oceanic Womb, which I think is. I don't think it's ambient. Let me see. Yeah, it's about humans polluting, degrading, and over-harvesting the ocean. Perfect. Put it on record. All right, and then one last one I wanted to share is probably the most impressively prolific band I've ever seen. This is Bestial Piglord, which also up there with best name. Yep. Look at this. Look at this. Here, this is his Bandcamp. This is all the albums and stuff he's released.
Wow.
Look at this. And the earliest album is 2016.
He's prolific.
So he's released all of this since 2016, and it ranges from like intense black metal. Like, look at this shit. It's like, you know, definite black metal to like some weird, crazy sludge. Which this is what is on the comp. My Mannequin Wife.
Oh, that was the one.
Yeah.
I said, hey, I got a story.
Oh, you did? Yeah, this is why I brought this up. I don't remember why I brought this up.
No, I said I saw the song title. I'm like, oh my god, I got a good story for this. I mean, right. When you're finished, okay. I got a Mannequin Wife story. It's hilarious.
Well, I'll let me see if I can place some fucking Bestial Piglord real quick. Very sludge. See, sorry, yeah, it's hard to play like just a clip from a song that's 10 minutes because you're like, but honestly, I'm glad I did because James actually added something that I didn't hear initially. It's got some industrial like tinges to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Like some of that Godflesh like kind of swell and
that kind of
machinery vibe in the background.
Yeah,
you know,
repetitious.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I that's all I have to share from the comp. Brian, what's your
My
story?
mannequin wife story.
Mm.
Okay. A couple years ago, we're at the zoo, and we're going into the polar bear enclosure, and it's like, you go, it's, everything looks like a cave, and then you go to the glass, and the polar bears are swimming and shit. And so I noticed this guy come in with his wife, who is in a wheelchair. So he's pushing the wheelchair. The wife looks to be Asian because she kind of has that kind of porcelain looking skin, sunglasses, hat. She's holding like flowers and like a teddy bear from the gift shop or something. And it was odd because she kind of looked like perfect, like,
Aren't they all?
yeah, she's like, there's something about her that didn't look right. But he was like talking to her, like he was he was whispering things in her ear, and he was like pointing at the stuff. And the more I looked at it, and it was I showed my wife, I'm like, is that a mannequin? Is he pushing around a mannequin in this at the zoo? And he was like, he had bought the thing at the gift shop and put it in her arm. Her feet were like strapped to the wheelchair so they wouldn't like move around. It was an actual like
life-size,
life
shipped from Japan,
real looking. Yeah. And so on my way home, I'm like, that was so bizarre. I started like looking it up, and apparently he had been there multiple times, enough that it had made it onto like a Reddit forum. And they're like, oh man, I saw the guy today, and he was doing this, and he was doing this. And apparently he had been on Jerry Springer at one point. Like,
you saw a celebrity, man.
Yeah, like he had been like he obviously he knows it's not real, but like this is his kind of reality, right?
Mm-hmm.
He bought this life-size female doll, and it's like his partner, and he will call. There was someone on that Reddit forum that said, yeah, he used to call ahead to the restaurant I worked at just to let them know like he was going to come in with his mannequin and he wanted to have dinner with her at the restaurant, and he was just making sure everybody knew like that it was going to be okay. You know what I mean? Like he was kind of like asked permission, like, I know it's weird, but I want to come do this at your restaurant. So that's my story. So if you like Google like or go into YouTube and look up Jerry Springer,
what is sighting?
My mannequin wife or something, you'll find like that episode from years ago.
Was it Ryan Gosling who's with the mannequin?
Is that a
That's a movie apparently. Yeah.
No, or James brought up Mannequin with Kim Cattrall. That's the one I remember from like the 80s.
Oh,
90s. That movie's actually, I used to watch that movie all the time.
No, I don't know that one. Is that a horror movie?
No, it's a comedy.
Okay,
it's funny, but it's the same kind of concept. Yeah, but that was I read that Mannequin Wife song title. I'm like,
well, dude, maybe Bestial Pig World is inspired by it.
Probably.
If it's such a well-known, or other people like it, probably.
Yeah, he's not the only one. I think there are companies that build these life-size looking.
Man, autograph from a celebrity right there. That's Jefferson Starship lyrics you're quoting.
Yeah.
All right, I got one more beer, for better or worse. Local hop filler, Weedian Brewing, Charlotte, North Carolina. We're getting to the final section of the stream. Brian, thanks for hanging in there.
Yeah.
Well, what's the best band name overall? Like, We've mentioned some good ones.
Yeah.
This is like your top 3.
Witch Tit, kind of hard to beat Witch Tit.
Tit, that's up there for mine.
Well, Coke Goat just has such a nice ring to it.
The simplicity of Coke Goat.
That's always been kind of a favorite. And the last one from the Illinois side is probably Grim Reaper.
Yes, I was going to mention Grim Reaper.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's good. Not as many. Yeah, a lot of.
Did you have a Mushroom Toadstool? Was that
a Mushroom Forager?
Mushroom
is actually pretty cool. They're from Rockford, which is where. Oh shit! What's the band from Rockford? I Want You to Want Me.
Oh, Cheap Trick, right?
Cheap Trick's from Rockford. Anyway, yeah, Mushroom Forager is like a one-man kind of sleep style stoner doom. Really good, actually.
Have to check that out.
Yeah. What about you?
All right. Let me see. So you mentioned some of the ones I wanted to mention, like Witch Tit, Coke Goat for sure. I like the ridiculousness of naming your band literally "Long Live the Goat." Like, why the fuck do you have to go to that like level of, you know? It's like a full sentence at that point. I also like Bestial Pig Lord as a band name. From the North Carolina comp, there's Darth Cannabis.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Darth Cannabis, which I might pull them up real quick on my share screen because they've got some funny art, and they're definitely in that like sludge sound that I just enjoy talking about ad nauseum, you know. Here we go, Darth Cannabis. Boom.
First of all, cheers on the artwork. That's awesome.
There's a shark down here. Just shark, a ship. Darth Sidious up here smoking weed out of his like fucking mask. I don't know. Definitely.
That made me more Darth Malgus.
If
we're getting deep into the Star Wars canon.
You can get deep into it. I mean, there's definitely some Star Wars influence here. I mean, just look at the font and stuff, and this Darth Malgus character. But it's the Captain's Chronicles, so. But we got the March of the Jabberwocky.
Oh wow! Okay, so they're
Battle for Bud Mountain. Captain Chronic. Good stuff here. Good stuff here. And then let's see what else.
Are we gonna listen to it?
Oh, do you want to?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Well, give me a sec. I forgot I could do that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, I forgot about the song on the comp is Chubanga.
It is Chubanga.
Chubanga.
All right, let me. Maybe Chubanga's on this one.
Yeah, that's Captain Chronic EP.
Yeah, that's a dude from Godzilla. I forget what his name is.
Mothra?
It's a kaiju. No, it's not Mothra.
Oh.
It's like the gas monster. Damn it.
Right.
I don't remember his name. Let's just try this one. Reefer King. A little too slow. Let me see.
I like it.
Oh, you like it?
It's gonna build up.
It is building up. I picked the wrong song though.
Is it like 9 minutes long? We get 5
It's
minutes.
3.5 minutes. That's why I picked it.
Oh,
It must be like an interlude or something.
yeah. We're in there.
It sounds good though. It is.
Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna check this out for sure. Further.
I would, man.
Further listening.
Let's hear it. Green Machine. Here we go. I think that was fun. I think that was fun. That was definitely very different from the first song we were sampling. But yeah, Darth Cannabis is up there for me. I think from your comp, I would also want to highlight the Electric Lettuce.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that's a pretty fun song.
Yeah, I think I like that song.
I dig it.
All right. I think the ultimate name for me would be either Bong Foot or Coke Goat.
I think those are pretty.
As far as Sludge goes,
yeah,
you got to keep it to the two-word name, and it's got to have.
It's gotta be compound.
Got to be compounded, and it's got to have references to drugs and goats.
Yeah,
so maybe Coke Goats went. Coke Goats went. I don't know. Yeah. So.
Both very good choices.
And then we got some bands that were not included on either of these Weedian comps, and we're gonna wrap up the stream with some honorable mentions, I guess.
Honorable mentions, yeah. I'm gonna go first then.
Yeah, man, go for it. Sorry.
Look at Bong Ripper.
Yes.
Fucking Satan worshiping doom. Does it get any better?
No.
Doesn't. No, it doesn't really get any better. I think this is their third. They got a bunch. I love the song. 4 tracks. Hail, Satan, Worship, Doom. I mean, come on. Instrumental. Dank and sludgy shit. They got a ton of records out. I have this one. I have Miserable, and I also have Terminal. I would love to get some of their earlier stuff, but it's out of print. I think they put all their own stuff out. Great Barrier Records, right?
Bro, I'm going to put that in the chat because they still have some stuff for sale. I'll probably... Like they have Killer, which is one of the ones I want to buy.
Which one?
Killer. Yeah.
Oh, Hippie Killer? Hippie Killer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one's... I mean, I like them all. They're all really good. And here is one of my favorites that they didn't include. Resin. R-E-Z-N. Phenomenal stuff. This is their album called Let It Burn. The album they put out a few years ago was called Calm Black Water. That's the first one I heard. Fantastic, psychedelic, dreamy, kind of heavy stoner doom. I just pre-ordered their new one that's going to be coming out in April, I believe. It's called Solace. They have it available on Bandcamp, on vinyl, and on Jewel Case CD. So that's going to be their 4th, I think. So definitely highly recommend Resin. I think they're one of the best doing what they're doing. And they're going on a big U.S. tour in support of that album. So hopefully they're coming near you and you can go check them out. I'm not sure if they're hitting up Charlotte or another North Carolina date, but
they'll be in Raleigh on like a weekday. So
yeah. Bummer, but
I'm excited for the new album.
Cool band. Yeah, I'm excited to hear the whole thing. The 2 advanced tracks off the new one are really good. I'm really excited about it. That's it for me.
Okay. So I guess to add to the Illinois stuff real quick, I wanted to. Well, first off, this is my bong ripper pick.
Perfect.
Miserable. Which
great.
Yours was Hail Satan, Worship Doom. This is Endless Descent into Ruin. Fuck yeah. Wanted to mention Indian real quick. Just the most hateful sludge band I can think of. I've heard their music described as audio carpet bombing.
Nihilistic black noise.
Yep. It's intense.
It is. We talked about this before that I saw them live back in the fall. One of the most just the amount of like physical exertion that they put out through their music as they're performing. Like when they're singing, it's just like the veins are coming out of their necks and popping out of their foreheads. It was really
cathartic,
special.
Yeah,
fucking killer show.
They're up there with Primitive Man for me, with like some of the most intense, musical experiences you can get. Then also I got to mention Pelican.
Oh yeah, Pelican. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, big instrumental post-metal sludge.
Post-metal,
I mean,
yeah,
definitely. I mean, this album especially, I think, has a little bit of sludge. And Pelican, they're just a fun band. They kind of just do what they want a little bit.
Yep.
I like this one. I really love What We All Come to Need, which is like a 2009 album. This one has March to the Sea, which is one of my favorite songs from them. But
yeah, I'm not. I don't have any of their stuff, but
really?
I got a bunch of like CDRs because when they were kind of coming out, that was when I wasn't buying a lot of music. I was downloading, I was burning CDRs, so that's what I did. And so I'm slowly trying to replace the stuff I really liked with that, and I have not gotten around to Pelican. It's just not a band I really reach for very often.
I kind of agree. They're not. I think because they don't pack like the metal wallop that a lot. They're definitely a lot more.
They're a little softer on the edges.
Yes, like they're still heavy, but then at the same time, it's like the bite is not there. You know. If I see any Pelican though, I'll grab you some. I definitely like them for the occasional day where I need something that's still heavy but very calming and kind of just pushes you versus crushing. And then I want to mention the Atlas Moth as well. I
don't know. Well, I know a little bit of the Atlas Moth, but not much.
They are a weird just combination of genres. I mean, like I think this album right here, An Ache for a Distance, is definitely rooted in sludge and stoner, but there's like a lot of black metal in here too. I mean, it sounds like Noctimistium at times on this album.
Now,
but I think you would like this, Brian. Like it's very riff driven and very there's a trade-off between harsh like black metal vocals and like clean sung probably vocals similar to like Intronaut you might find on Intronaut.
All right, okay. Yep.
But yeah, killer album. And do you have any North Carolina bands that you think they left off
that we
that they missed?
Nope. I think most of the stuff I had was already included.
They were a lot more encompassing with North Carolina for some reason. with Illinois, I just was easily able to find like some
Yeah.
that I felt they left off. But for me, from North Carolina, I just want to first mention this band, Bloody Hammers.
Oh, I've heard of Bloody Hammers.
This is one that Rick will talk about. So
Yeah.
if Rick were here, he would mention them. They're from Transylvania, North Carolina, Transylvania County, I think.
Nice.
So, this album right here might not be the best one to include on like this comp or on a conversation with Sludge, because it's essentially like if you like 90s Misfits with Michael Graves, this is a great follow-up to it. I mean, it sounds like American Psycho Misfits. We got Not of This Earth, Waking the Dead, We Are the Damned. Just so many songs that are just these catchy like horror punk anthems with a little bit more of a doom guitar oriented sound, So Bloody Hammers for sure. And then this is a local Raleigh band, which is just crazy unique in my opinion. Noctum.
I don't know that one.
I don't think they ever did very much. I absolutely love these guys. They are what I would call blackened sludge. They're a 3-piece, very riff driven, but all the vocals are just like black metal rasp, but it's like the instrumentals beneath it are very much like sludge, and it's very catchy in parts. I would recommend Soul Rot and Illusions and Obulus for Karen, which is the name of this album right here. So I'm gonna post this one in the chat real quick.
All right, cool.
Because it is a good one. And then let's see. The last one that I have is a supergroup featuring David. No, what's his name? Jason Shee from ASG. These Wild Lights. It's on released in 2015 off of Season of Mist. It's just ASG, except a little bit more progressive, not quite as heavy, a little more adventurous. It's a newer one I picked up, but still great album.
Is it instrumental?
No,
Okay.
The fact that the dude from ASG is still singing on it makes it sound like ASG, but
Yeah.
it does not have the same like metal heaviness or bluesiness about it. So I think the instrumentation is a bit more progressive here. So
All right.
Wild Lights on Season of Mist. In fact, if you go to Season of Mist, this CD is on sale for 80 cents, I believe.
Oh, is that? I know sometimes they got some of their stuff is crazy discounted.
Yes, which I would also check out.
Awesome.
Do you know Floor?
Yes, it's like $3, $2, isn't it?
80 cents, I believe. The new one.
It's now 80 cents.
The new one is now 80 cents. So I'm probably going to pick up that shortly for 80 cents. Also, some Black Cobra is like $1 or some shit like that. But one other one that I don't have any of their stuff, but they should be mentioned, Confessor from North Carolina. So
Confessor.
Yeah, Confessor. Here, let me pull them up real quick so we can.
I'm wondering if it's the logo I'm thinking of.
It should be. It's
like kind of thrashy.
It's it's like the weird vocals too. Wow, I'm on their Bandcamp. They don't even have the album that everyone knows from. It was released on Roadrunner, I think.
Yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about. It's got
the dude. He's
a person on the front.
Yeah,
getting like something on his head.
Yeah, Confessor.
All right,
from Raleigh, North Carolina. So
okay, And it's sludgy and doomy.
More, I'd
guess
say
I thought
more
it was like red.
Solitude Eternus kind of doomy.
Oh man,
like
I always thought it was.
sludgy.
Okay.
And the vocals are bizarre. I've not really gotten into them, but I think it was James mentioned them in the chat.
Yeah,
Someone
you
did, and I was like, all right,
early on.
let me mention Confessor at the very least.
James knows what he's talking about.
Dude, James and Frederick are both on it. All right, that's what I got. That's what I got.
And that's just like the tip of the iceberg on a lot of these bands.
Yeah, on a lot of these bands, and on the comp too. Like,
yeah, that's what I mean.
So in total, there was 49 bands on my comp. There was 58 bands.
Yeah, that sounds right. No, I think it was 56 songs, 55 bands, because Plague of Carcosa got 2 songs.
Okay. So there's 48 bands on mine, 55 on yours. So that's 103 overall. 103 bands. We probably talked about 40, maybe.
Yeah, and then some that didn't make it. But yeah, definitely. I think Weedian puts out really cool comps.
They're doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, I'm excited to dig into the New York one.
Yep.
This is a great
Inclusion,
King Bastard. This album rules.
Already sold them that album cover, dude. That shit's cool.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Actually, it's funny because I bought this on CD a long time ago, but and the Cosmic Peddler put out this vinyl pressing, and so I got my Cosmic Peddler package in, and when I opened it, I saw the CDs I bought, and then I saw this. Like I'm like holy shit! He threw in the vinyl, but it's only a stiffener. It's just the cover.
Oh,
like an extra cover.
Just the cover.
Just the cover. I'm like, oh man, I would have loved to have it on vinyl, but this is cool anyway.
Dude,
I think I sent one of these to Thralls of Metal, and he talked about it on an update, one of his collection updates last year or something. It's a killer album.
One I will have to check out.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, Weedian, they do a great job. I mean, they do an amazing job. That Maryland comp that they have is killer too.
Yep. The tribute to Dave Sherman from Earthride. Yep.
Earthride and
others.
Weed is Weed or something like that. And I mean, of course, it features a lot of Scott Wino's stuff.
Yep. It does. Definitely does. Some Pentagram.
Yep. Pentagram. That's a super important state for the U.S. like sludge scene for sure.
Yeah, and especially like the traditional doom too.
They also released a comp for Oregon.
Oregon, yep.
So there's Yob on there and shit.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank. I know Yob was on there.
Yeah. And then they did one for just New England in general, so like an all-encompassing for New England,
Rhode Island, New Hampshire, and
Connecticut. Yeah, so I think Chained to the Bottom of the Ocean is on there.
Oh yes, that's a band I want to dig into.
You should definitely. I'll send you a recommendation for that. But yeah, with Weedian, thank you for all that you do. Appreciate you highlighting all these like local scenes and stuff, and all these bands that are just writing amazing music. Thanks for all who watched.
Yeah,
killer stream. I think
good idea.
Yeah, fun stuff, Brian. Thank you, man.
Hey, yeah,
I appreciate you coming on for sure.
It's a good time.
This is good, dude. All right.
Yeah.
Cheers, all. See ya.
Night.